Welcome back, all you glorious patrons of anime, for another spectacular episode of Fictionology here on the Crimson Law channel. You may know me as the man who can't refuse to mention Bleach or Halo for less than 5 minutes. My name is Rolo Films. What's up, guys? Joining me, we have our favorite anime old head and animated breast enthusiast, Muffler Tape. What's up, buddy?
Oh, pie! What's up,
And
everybody?
of course, we also need our resident psycho simp, lover of goth baddies and hater of Shinji, RG Energy.
Woohoo! What's going on?
What's up,
I am
my
here
dude?
to
What's
hate
up?
you some more.
And
Let's go.
last but not least, the one who follows the Black Swordsman to a T, the Lord of Gooning himself, and your host, Crimson Law!
I am here to learn how to talk to women.
What's up, guys? How we doing?
Get up your spicy
All
talk
right.
game.
Well, unfortunately, we have one final entry, and we can just
I'll
repeat
do
the
an
same
intro
thing we
for
said
him.
for.
He is the Mexican version of me. He's coming from the top ropes. Just wait for him to jump on in and talk about anime. He loves Attack on Titan and all things swords. This motherfucker, Rolando!
Rolando!
Oh,
I don't love Attack on Titan. I like it, but like,
Whatever, good enough. I had to come up with it on the fly.
all right.
He's improvising here. This is literally like as we're rolling the intro.
No,
like,
right?
We're
Mother
getting
just
you in
puts in the
here.
private
I didn't
chat
let
like,
this guy know what
yeah.
was going on.
I wrote
so.
the intros last night.
Mhm. Anyway,
Okay.
before we start, because this just happened, Biggles Mets with the
Hey.
$20. I appreciate it, man.
What's
I
up,
genuinely
Biggles?
do. And that says, STFU, Rolo, it is a Crimson early birthday. Happy birthday, Crimson. You
told me.
damn homos.
Biggles.
at least
Biggles,
we're not
I,
cucks.
Biggles, I'm sorry about your Mets, homie. Go Phillies.
Damn.
All right. Okay. So, with that out of the way, there is one more thing I do want to say that is unrelated to Don Danon. Before we get into Don Danon, really quickly, because of this guy right here in particular, we have hit 1,000 subs just before the show, like 20 minutes before this show hit. So thank
Hell
you,
yeah,
Cammy.
number one.
I appreciate it.
Congratulations,
Oh.
Crimson.
Yes, let's go. We got another one. Great Pilgrim.
And we got another $20 super chat from the Great
Pilgrim,
Pilgrim.
$20.
I appreciate
My
it.
man.
Thank you very much, man. And now, since we got two, let's just roll with the inspector.
理想的な柔らかさ俺の美意識に間違いはなかった
何をなさっておいでですか
検品だ検品
Oh,
What
pie.
is that? What is that?
Roman, we can watch that sometime. Don't worry.
That is
about
By
the
the way-
evil lord of an intergalactic empire. Anyway, so thank you, Great Pilgrim, for the congratulations on hitting 1K. Truly deserved. I appreciate that. It really does mean a lot to me. Like I've said this a couple of times, I think.
Out to
But like,
100,000.
money or like doing this full time really isn't my objective in all of this. But it's always appreciated that people are willing to support and that people are willing to actually listen to me do this. So
Absolutely.
I also love the camaraderie and the friendship that we've all kind of built here. I think it's really, really a beautiful thing. And I say that we just keep it going, y'all. And I say that we get into Don because I got a lot to say, but I'll let everyone talk first, and then I can get my thoughts out.
As long as we never call ourselves the anime men, we should totally be fine.
Oh my god.
The
Yeah.
anime
no,
chat.
we're never calling us.
No, we're gonna
Anyway.
stick it to just fictionology. That's it.
No,
Yeah.
it's just fictionology. If you want to call ourselves the fictionologists, that works too.
Yeah, I'm cool with that one. That sounds better.
Anyway,
It's
so
better
to
than anime
start
man.
off the night,
For,
we kind of have a bit more of an organized method to this, I guess. for the night, and we'll start here. Is we're gonna, like we usually do, go around, sort of talk about like how we encountered Don the Don as a series, and like give our initial impressions of it. So, as the host, I will go first, and we'll go around to Rolo, Muffler Tape, Roman, and then Rolando.
Yeah.
Biggles for another 5. Thank you, Biggles.
Biggles Mets with another $5. I appreciate it. The anime homos. Oh boy. Okay.
He's asking for Kaiju number 8 hate, and this ain't even that. All right.
Dude, me and Little Kid already riled him up. We don't need to rile him up anymore. Anyway. So
be mean.
As for like my I guess introduction to Dandadan, it was completely happenstance. I was getting ready for like a family vacation out to Utah for like a snowboarding trip, and I was looking for things to read along the way, and like I picked up a bunch of Berserk and stuff because I was trying to catch up on that at the time, and some other things as well. But one that stuck out that was like kind of interesting was like I had seen some panels of this circulating of like, oh wow, these look kind of cool. This Dandadan thing might be pretty interesting, and it's the panels from like the Nessie fight where like Momo's riding on his back and everything.
Yes, I've seen that. Yeah.
Yep.
So I went and I grabbed the first volume of the manga and was absolutely blown away by how good just the artwork was. But then the more I got into it, I'm like, this story is great. Like, this is the kind of crazy that I really absolutely love to see in like an anime. Like, this is just so out there. It's very creative, very fun. And the deeper I got into it, the more and more I liked it. And then ultimately, it was a little while after that I started talking to like Muffler Tape and Rolando a little bit more, and they kind of bullied me into like reading the manga weekly and getting caught up through the Shonen Jump app. And yeah, that was pretty crazy to get through all of that through the second like major like act, I guess you could say, of Dandadan. Because we've mentioned it here before, but like everything up to Space Globalists, I guess you could consider like one act. And then everything after that would be like the second act.
Yeah, there's like 2 more arcs, but yeah, that's basically the high
inflection. For an hour. Sorry, I was responding to Great Pilgrim at the same time. I'm sorry. But how about each of you guys just watch this for an hour?
Either way. It was, I loved the characters. I liked the storytelling. It was one of those things where like, it was just an all-around, like, incredibly solid, amazing manga. And then I was actually renovating my room, I think, around the time where the anime got announced. And it was about on par with my reaction to Frieren anime getting announced. Like, I was excited for that. I was like looking into like research, like, okay, who's the studio doing this? Like, what's their previous work? How much have they actually been doing this? I couldn't really find anything because I don't think Science Saru had done a whole lot. I could be mistaken on that, but I didn't see a lot of what was going on with it. And then
it could be the most mainstream thing they did. Yeah, for sure. Before that, it was more niche, and you'd have to be like a really big anime enthusiast. So I agree with you on that.
And as far as the anime adaptation goes, this one has been a superb adaptation of the manga.
I would agree.
And that is what I have to say.
That puts the floor on me, I suppose.
Yeah, that goes to you, Roland.
So how did I get into Dandadan? That's a funny story. I guess I got to go back to the point where my friend showed me Chainsaw Man for the first time, and that was the actual manga before the anime. And I was like, this is a very stupid premise. Because I didn't know anything about it. He just kept showing me a guy with a chainsaw head, like ripping stuff apart. Like, he didn't tell me the premise, it's now one of my favorite manga of all time. But once I got into that, he was like, oh, this is from like a guy that worked with him. And he also did and the other guy did Spy Family, and the other guy did Hell's Paradise. And I was like, oh, interesting. So then I looked into those ones as well. And I was kind of looking into all three at the same time. And basically, I decided that I wasn't going to actually get into Dandadan, the manga, because I'd seen the Avengers panel. Everybody knows what I'm talking about when I say that if you've read the manga. I'd seen that. I'd seen panels of like Okarun, And at first I was like, bro, he's like a knockoff, like Ken Kaneki, like type of shit. I didn't know anything about the story. I didn't know what the premise was. No one told me any of this. When in reality they should have, because the premise is directly up my alley. Like that is exactly the type of stuff that I love. I run a whole show talking about conspiracy theories and aliens and history. You know what I mean? Like the fact that nobody told me that this was what it was about for the longest time was crazy. So then I found the premise out literally when the trailer dropped. And that's when I was like, oh shit, I'm going to get into this. But I'm going to do what I did with Chainsaw Man, which was catch up on the manga after I finished the first season. But then they were like, season 2's going to drop. And I was like, oh. Well, then I'll just read a different manga. And then I'll read Chainsaw Man instead in the interim. And that's kind of how I got into it. I mean, my friend was just showing me stuff. He was showing me Fire Punch. That's how he got me into Fujimoto in general. And then from there, you know, and Fire Punch is gnarly. And that's getting an anime too. But Dandadan, like, dude, that's a show
Hell yeah.
that is, I want to say it Chainsaw Man are one of those animes you get once in a couple of years. Like something that like they're hitting, and this is like the dark shonen era, in my opinion, right? Like you have the Chainsaw Man, you have the Dandadan. Like last time it was like Black Clover, Boruto, and My Hero. Boruto failed. My Hero's still going. Black Clover got canceled indefinitely. What they're doing the Bleach treatment with, I guarantee it'll be back in a couple of years. But that's where I feel like we're at now. It's like, oh, we're moving. We're going into like a darker type of thing, and I really, really like it. So that's what I have to say about Dandadan. I love the show. I love it. Looks like we lost Rolando, but I absolutely love the show. I think it's doing a phenomenal job with everything. And now that I'm completely caught up on at least the Space Globalist arc, which is what I've been most excited for so far, but I have no idea where else to go from here.
More like this, just straight up.
Hell yeah, dude! I'm all in. I'm all in.
Muffler, you're up.
Sure, yeah. So I got into Dandadan about the same time as the Chainsaw Man anime was coming out and airing regularly. So at the time, you know, I was mainly just watching some shows with my friends, and I heard about Chainsaw Man. I got really hyped up about it. I was blown away by the style and the storytelling aspects of it. I found it really compelling week to week. And about halfway through the season, I think I decided to maybe start reading it. And I didn't read past the end of the anime until the anime actually concluded, I think. But I pretty well binged that quick. And once I got caught up, like I was really ravenous about, you know, learning more. And so I went to forums and stuff. You know, I was trying to find places to have conversations with people about stuff, obviously, because it's a pretty wild story. And all the time, you know, I would always hear, oh, Dandadan. You know, if you like this, you're going to like Dandadan and stuff, right? And people would talk about the ties where, you know, Tatsu is actually, you know, was an assistant for Fujimoto during part 1 of Chainsaw Man and some other stuff. And so I didn't give him enough credit to stand on his own until I learned a lot more about Tatsu. But the thing is that this guy is wild. You know, the moment I jumped in, it was probably within the first 50 chapters or so, you know, so we're talking within a year of it airing, you know, coming out originally. That's when I was probably looking at it. I was trying to check the timelines because during the Evil Eye arc, I remember that coming out week to week. And then when we hit Space Globalists and everything else, I've been following it week to week for years at this point, you know, and the story is always refreshing. I think the thing that, you know, that Dandadan, what makes it special is not necessarily the action. It's also the fact that the character storytelling is just on another level. And that level of writing is what really brings people to this, you know, or keeps people sticking around more than anything else, in my opinion. You know, the action's great, but you gotta love the characters and stuff. So this guy's just bringing it week to week. It's amazing. So that's how I figured it out.
You know, that's also another thing that I should touch on is that I think that's another reason that I gravitated so much to Chainsaw Man and Dandadan is the writing. Like, oh my god, it's phenomenal. you're correct. The character work and the writing. That's the one thing I didn't say. But yeah, it's. Whew.
So
Or
as
no.
everybody knows, I am kind of your resident newbie when it comes to animes like outside of like the ones that I had already seen, and slowly but surely through attending these fictionologies, I have been able to watch and enjoy many more animes. And I've heard about this one. Like I've seen it in passing. I've seen panels leaking online. Rolando and Muffler and Crimson have, brought it up in chat like every single week at some point on, my on me and Roland show. And so this was always around me, but I never had a reason to watch it because to be honest with you, it's kind of the same thing with like Roland. Like I didn't know the premise, and from what I had seen, it didn't really interest me. But then when I watched it, I was like, yo, this is actually phenomenal. And so I think I had known about it, but I'm just glad that I watched it, and I'm glad that I'm here because I got to see another phenomenal anime. That is, since I have become a regular for Fictionology, that's like 5 in a row now of like phenomenal animes. And Muffler, you said that that this one might convince me to get into the manga. Guess what? I'm buying the Dandadan manga. I'm buying that.
Bro.
That's great to hear.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
We love
Mhm.
Like right
Rolando.
there,
There's a
man. I'm
bunch.
right there with you, dude.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Rolando, it's on you now, brother. Take it.
All right. How it started out was I think it was I saw the announcement first of the anime. I think a little bit before that I had just seen YouTube channel talking about Dandadan, talking about how they like the way the fights look in the manga. The art's really great. The designs are pretty simple but recognizable. And I didn't check it out. But then once I saw the anime was going to come out, I was like, all right, I'll check it out. And then I saw that it was on Shonen Jump, but it was like it wasn't on the app yet. It was on the site because I guess it was considered, too mature for the site and for the app yet. Check that out. The website sucks. So I went to go look for another site that let me read it better. So there was like cuss words and stuff. But once I read to the part where they both have their troubles, and I see what's said, what happens to Okarun, what happens to Momo, I'm like, this is wild, and I can see how the anime is going to be probably controversial just because of this. So that really hooked me.
Yep.
And I read all the way up to I think it was in the middle of the space globalist arc, and I was like, now it's waiting. And it just the diversity of characters in them. Some characters you turn out to just hate in the beginning, but then the writing for them makes so much sense, and it makes them much more lovable. Like it really is amazing, and all the characters I do want to see. It only makes you think like he could write happy endings for all the characters, even some of the bad guys, because he does do the sympathetic stories with them, and it's done pretty well, and I don't know if he's gonna do a just evil villain, but he'll probably do it well because I really do trust that this story can, for all its wild references to cryptids, science, just myths and unexplained stuff that happened in the world, how he incorporates it is just fun, awesome, and I just cannot wait for what else is going to happen in this like great story.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is one of the things as far as like actual like evil villains in this series. I think it could be pulled off, especially because I think a lot of people do forget like how dark Dandadan can actually be.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
a lot of it gets lost in like the zany like silliness of like the aliens and the creativity that Tatsu gets into with a lot of these, but like they forget like the Bound Spirit and Turbo Granny, like the Bound Spirit was basically a conglomeration of rape victims.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Acro
Rape,
Silky
rape and
was
murder
legit-
victims. Yeah.
Yeah, Acro Silky's whole backstory.
Mhm.
Well,
I mean, we
it's
can
hard-
get like even like we can
It's
go
hard.
like even deeper, like Vamola's story and everything
I was
that
gonna
happens
say,
there. You go even
Momola,
beyond that. You then get Brella Boy,
Draco.
Pygmy Girl.
Right.
That
Evil
one.
Eye. Evil Eye is like,
Evil Eye.
pretty
Talking about.
freaking messed up.
Yep.
Yeah,
Like-
there's a lot.
Momola,
Like,
bro, dude, I read that last night. Like that with Muffler.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's great.
That's
Yep.
yeah,
wild.
this show can genuinely like distract you with like some of the more like ridiculous like lines of dialogue, or Gigi being a goofball in the background while they're trying to chase down an enemy.
Oh,
One of my favorite things to come out of like the later arcs is just they're all chasing the one chick, and Gigi's just in the back there doing the fucking stupid dance.
Yep.
Yes, yeah.
Even like
One
this scene with the Hayashi. Like even the scene with the
Yeah, one
Hayashi.
thing-
Well, it's
we'll get
badass.
with, like the anime and stuff, but like particularly with the storytelling of this, I just love the fact that this is one of those shows that just does a really good job of balancing its like levity and dark elements in a way that like doesn't really detract from you. Like you really feel it when you get to some of the dark stuff, like some of like the tragic backstories and all that. But at the same time, it doesn't linger in your mind long enough to make you depressed, because there's always something good that comes after it to sort of like lighten the mood.
Roman?
Yeah.
So I was just gonna say, like,
You
when it
can't
comes
spell
to
his name right, Biggles. Come on, bro. Put some respect on my boy.
when it comes to like balancing tone out, like I so I remember Crimson was like watching with us one night on like Patreon, and him and Muffler and Roland were like all saying, dude, this is gonna mess you up, you are going to cry, bro. The sequence with Ira's mom, bro, made me cry. I was crying on Patreon. You see tears coming out of my eyes. I was crying, bro. It had me. And I can confidently say there is one other time that an anime made me cry. Attack on Titan. Other than that, dude, nothing makes me cry. And that made me cry.
What part of Attack on Titan?
I don't know why, but I was bawling like when Eren dies, and I just don't know why. I was crying.
For
I just started
me, it
crying.
was whenever Hanj, what happens to Hanj. Like,
Yeah,
that's when
yeah.
me and my sister teared up.
Yeah. Like that
Yeah.
stuff. Like it's the music and the fact that like the whole crew on the plane is like.
So I can give you sorry.
Go ahead, Muffler Tape. You've been waiting to say something.
Oh, I was just trying to tell Roman. I was like, hey, spoiler alert. Well, not a spoiler, but you're going to cry at least 3 more times, in my opinion. Okay, so just buckle up, Buttercup, because it's going to keep happening. All right. But
no, what I did want to say is I wanted to bring up Marcel here, saying not one hater. Now I'm disappointed. This is one thing I do think that like a lot of people do need to understand, is that like not everything is for everyone. Even though a series can be like really good, like I personally think Dan is a fantastic series, I don't think that it is the right flavor, so to speak, for everyone.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people really like the show Sakamoto Days. I don't. A lot of people like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I don't.
Yeah, I don't.
I like JoJo's.
Yeah, that's fine. I have writer friends who love JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and it's their whole like inspiration to write. With Dan, like I can respect not liking it, so long as like your criticisms are at least like acknowledged as like it's part of like taste and everything, or like are like legitimate criticisms that you have of the show. Like I don't like the way they did a certain part of the story. I don't like the characters. I don't like the zaniness of it. It's when you like start to get into some of like the more controversial topics that this ends up bringing to the table. That's when it starts to annoy me, where people start to label things as like genuinely evil.
Yeah.
But that's a topic for later in this whole thing. It's just with Dandadan, like I said, one of the things that really just impressed me with this show was it was able to take a lot of like inspiration from like not like folklore, cryptids, alien stories, all of like the conspiracy stuff. And now I enjoy conspiracies, not that I believe very many of them. I think a lot of them are just propagated by people who don't actually understand what they're talking about.
You just ain't
but
seen
like,
the truth, all right?
but I enjoy them from like a fictional standpoint because they're often very interesting. Like Alex Jones is off his rocker, but some of the things he said are like, that would make a really cool like premise for a novel.
The
He has
frogs
some
were gay.
ideas.
The frogs were gay.
They were.
It was
He's been
aliens,
proven, right?
man. Come on,
We're
accept
not
it.
dipping into the Alex Jones was right jar on my channel right now. Okay, let's
Why
please-
not?
I just have one thing to say real quick about what Marcel said as well. We have had haters on the show before for other shows. It just so happens that there's not a lot of haters for Dandadan, and if you are one, then you guys can talk about it in the chat. I'm just saying for
the only thing dumber than Flat Earth is Tartaria.
So specifically,
That's a fact.
Yeah, that's both stupid. But specifically, last month, Roman was shitting on Evangelion the entire time. So,
well, like, I didn't hate it. I see. Here's my thing. When a main character is insufferable, it's harder for me to watch. And Shinji is insufferable, so therefore I had a hard time watching it. It wasn't that I hated the show. I liked all of the characters around him, but he is the main character. So it's hard for me to
to say that we don't have people that aren't haters is a little bit different.
Yeah, like I also think that this one was easier for me to watch because Okarune's nowhere near as bad as Shinji. As a matter of fact, I want to get into Okarune later, but this is not my show. This is, Crimson's show. So,
and the one other thing I wanted to say to that point is, I'm not even coming at Marcel when I say that. I'm just saying we have had.
The only reason I brought him up is because I didn't want to like gloss over the point he was like getting at.
No. And, I get the point. But also the whole the other thing, if I'm not mistaken, Crimson, Fictionology is just for us to break down an anime once a month. Whether or not we
it's not even like we like everything that we have watched. Like, no, exactly. I wasn't the hugest fan of Samurai Champloo when we did that one.
No, neither was I.
I'm kind of a stan, so yeah.
I like it, but it wasn't my favorite.
In retrospect,
I know that
I liked it more than y'all.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like in retrospect,
I like Samurai Champloo more than y'all.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
But, we'll bring it back around to Dandadan because this show is about Dandadan. I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't something like we're just ignoring any sort of criticism or anything like that. Unless you're this guy who is just being a twat because he can.
Yep.
Yeah, he's purposely doing this.
Yes, I know. Anyway.
Good troll Cammy.
Special.
I mean, not to do spoilers on this, okay? But like there's, and I'll explain briefly on this. But to your point, what you were saying, Crimson, the whole thing about people having criticisms and stuff, like even right now in the manga, some of the recent chapters have drawn some criticism for Tatsu, and it's gotten crazy in the community where like he's even received death threats from what I've seen online on X and stuff. So the thing is that there's people out there that don't always agree on it, and that's fine, but like just try to be as constructive as possible. It's not always for everybody, but sometimes you just have to let a guy cook because he's going to get you a good meal at the end of the day, and that's what I think this is. It's tasty. I'm the big boy. I've been eating good for years. All right, so
Tatsu will let you eat.
Mm-hmm.
And like I do really like one of the things that I have always talked about, like one of my big criticisms for a lot of anime is that like their characters aren't really that great. And I think this is a huge point that is like in the like to understand the disagreement with it, like Biggles and Marcel not liking Gigi. If you don't like the characters that are at the center of the story, the people who are doing all the things, it's hard to get invested in the story. I get it.
Yeah.
I'm that way. It's why I cannot stand Rent-A-Girlfriend. But with Dandadan, I really do like a lot of the characters. I think Okaroon is like a fantastic protagonist. Like just as a character, he is basically close to the ideal of what I would hope for a shonen protagonist. Like the best examples I can give would be Okaroon and Rudo from Gachi Yakuto. And they're characters who they have their issues. They're not perfect. And they clearly need training with their powers. They're not like the strongest or anything. They're gonna struggle. And a lot
And
of
in
times
personality,
they have
they're
flaws.
like opposite.
Well,
They're like opposites,
they have
you know. a bit.
flaws in their personalities
Yeah.
as well.
Mm.
Okaroon like struggles with this idea that people actually want to be his friend because he's been ostracized for so long.
He's very timid.
And mhm. It's one of those things though where like Okaroon doesn't like use that as a crutch throughout the whole series. It's almost like as soon as he like starts to get comfortable around everyone, you really start to see him come out of his shell and be a different person. And this is very important later on in Dandadan, where like you get to Okaroon like as a protagonist later on, like after Space Globalists and everything that happens.
Yeah.
Like he's honestly
Yeah.
really, really good.
I think he's very similar to Deku in the beginning.
I can see it.
He doesn't
mostly.
cry.
Mostly
cry,
just
though.
because
He
he's
hasn't
like
cried
very
much.
timid and he's
Yes,
like
he
worried
does.
about everyone.
He cries.
But I don't think.
Well, not as much as Deku. But, you know, I don't hate Deku.
Nobody cries as much as Deku. That's unfair.
All right.
I'm probably a person that doesn't hate Deku. You know.
I
one of the things, just to let me finish this thought, one of the things I really like about Okaroon is he's not some like hot-headed idiot who constantly has to like pick fights with everyone to prove he's tough.
Yeah.
That's a trope that I think is very rarely done well. Like I was okay with it with Naruto, but in subsequent renditions, it gets very annoying to see a protagonist picking fights that he should know better than to pick, and it always ends up with some sort of like unnecessary amount of conflict between him and characters.
Indeed.
Like Ichigo isn't that way, Luffy isn't that way. They're all good protagonists. Why does this like hot-headed idiot archetype seem to be like the go-to for a lot of shonen?
Jaeger, that's why.
because Goku kind of made it a popular thing to, you know, be like a hothead. And
Is Goku a hothead?
Not a hothead, but
picks fights.
just
Goku's more like Spider-Man in the way that he's just a goofball.
he just picks fights with like everybody.
I'm talking about like Naruto and Sasuke kind of dynamic.
Oh yeah.
Them just
Yeah. So what I wanted to say was I'm coming at this from two different fronts because firstly, everybody knows who my top 3 favorite anime characters are, and if you don't, then you're going to right now. So first, forever, and always, I got him on my hat here. Kakashi will always and forever be my number 1. But before I watched this show, Itachi, Uchiha, and Vegeta were 2 and 3. Y'all, Okaroon's now number 2, behind Kakashi. He has for me surpassed Itachi, and he has surpassed Vegeta. Now, why do I say that? Well, from the basis of an anime, I love that I love that he's just a very well written protagonist, and it's nice to be able to have a character that you can root for. Like I always was able to root for Naruto, but not in the same way that I can root for Okaroon. And let me tell you why. Because Okaroon, this is gonna be sad. I'm gonna get real for a second here, but Okaroon reminds me a lot of me. Because when I was in when I was in school, I didn't really have a whole lot of friends before I met Roland. And I felt ostracized, and I was not comfortable with who I was. And I got anxiety talking to, you know, girls and stuff like that. And I would sit alone at lunch, and people would bully me, and people would, you know, make fun of me. But I never gave up. And Okaroon doesn't quit. He's always trying to just, you know, he's always trying to get better, and he tries, and he gets friends, and then he comes out of his shell. And I was thinking to myself, like, when I was watching through this show, I was like, that used to be me. And so I've never been able to relate more to an anime character, damn it, to a fictional character than I have with Okarun. And so this show, watching it, it touched my heart because I was able to connect with someone on a personal level, but he's still, at least for me, unless I meet someone else, Kakashi will never ever be passed. But Okarun reminds me of younger me, so I kind of, yeah, that was my whole little spiel.
He is a very good protagonist, and just like the whole dynamic between him and Momo is fantastic. Their first meeting is really good. It just kind of shows like the good-hearted nature of a lot of these characters. And one of the things I do like is Okarun doesn't rely on some sort of tragic backstory to make you empathize with him.
Yep.
He's just a dude who like wants a couple of friends to talk to about like the ridiculous stuff that he's into. And I think
May
a
I
lot
throw
of people
something at you though? So may I throw something at you though? So would you say that within anime that it can kind of get, like, you guys know more about anime than me? Does it get tiresome when like every like protagonist and or like main character has some sort of like a tragedy behind them? Because I realized with like Okarun that it's different with him, that he doesn't really have like a tragedy. He just kind of needs friends. Like that's his
Yeah.
thing.
My answer would be simply that it depends on the skill with which it's done. Because when it comes to this kind of stuff, there aren't a whole lot of tropes that are like entirely bad. Now, you will hear me rant about love triangles. That is one trope where I do actually fucking hate most of the time, but you have a love triangle in this one.
Mm-hmm.
You have Ira and Momo going after Okarun. That's a love triangle.
Now it's
a
more
new
than
one has entered.
A new Pokemon has appeared.
Anyway,
more points have been added.
Yeah.
My point being that just because your character is, and this is a conversation I've had with other like writers, is just because your character is complex doesn't mean they are good. Just because your character is flat and doesn't have like some like dynamic character arc doesn't mean they are bad. Hope Core Superman is a really good archetype for Superman, where it's just Superman doing good stuff and being a good guy because that's who Superman was supposed to be. Okarun kind of fits that, where like you see he's almost like what would be the ideal like shonen hero. He's got a lot of struggles he's going to have to face, but there's nothing like tragic that motivates him to do it. He's just, there's a challenge in front of him and there's something that he wants to achieve. He's going to overcome that challenge.
Fair enough. I would also ask though, and like, I'm not even saying this like I guess, would you say that he's a better overall protagonist than like Naruto was?
That's an interesting question. And I actually do think I like Okarun more than Naruto as a protagonist. The Naruto will always be like my number one favorite anime, but it's not devoid of its criticisms. And Naruto is kind of the archetype for what, like the progenitor for the archetype of like shonen hero that I dislike the most. So like there are times where he annoys me, but when it comes to that show, like I'm willing to forgive it because there are a lot of other good things that happen within that show that I think like expound on that character and you actually get to see him grow.
Fair enough.
I was going to say too, like since we're on the topic of like shonen at large, one thing I would ask the panel is if anybody has ever watched like sports shonen, because if anything, I would almost think that Okarun is closer to like something written for like a sports shonen protagonist compared to other stuff, because you know, he doesn't cry as much as like an over exaggerated character. He like what I'm trying to say is that he kind of reminds me of like Hajime no Ippo, for example. He reminds me of like Ippo or something along those lines, where he gets bullied at the start. He has kind of like a tough start, but then he finds something and he like pursues it, and he just keeps going, and he keeps getting stronger, and he overcomes these challenges and stuff. So it seems like it has more of a sports shonen, you know, kind of vibe to me from his perspective, anyway.
So to answer Muffler,
there you go, Rollo.
To answer that question, I've seen parts of a couple different sports anime.
Yeah.
And I 100% see where you're coming from with that. I actually see him very similar to a nicer version of like Yusuke from Yu Yu Hakusho. In that way, like when he's in, like the way that he trains, the way that he fights, the way like remove the spirit gun, just the idea of him, right?
Yeah.
Like, and the way that he does things, I see him very similar to being Yusuke Urameshi. That's how I see him.
So
But a
what if
nicer version, like Yusuke, like Okurin won't be like "fuck you, bitch," like when he's not in his evil form, like his dark. You know what I mean? But Yusuke would.
What if I told you that there may be a character in the future that's kind of similar to Yusuke on some levels, all right? And he's actually one of my favorite characters in the series.
Then that would
What if I
make me
told you
very
that?
happy.
Well, he also comes with like a couple of other really great characters, like the
he does.
officer. The
Yeah.
officer is great.
Yeah,
But
he does.
Spirit gun.
Oh, yeah.
One of my
Yeah. No, anyway,
thought you were
sorry. I
talking
just
about him.
had to throw that in there. But yeah. Rolanda, you're going to respond to on Shonen with sports?
Yeah. The only sports anime I saw was one about this, like smaller than average, like kid who was a sumo wrestler, and in his youth he was pretty good, but then whenever he was like older, he was only like about 4'11", but the kid like trains day and night to get better at his technique and to get at a weight to where he is heavy enough to be a problem, but not heavy enough to where he cannot move at all. And he just basically does the stuff where he wants to start the sumo team at a school. He gathers people from different sports, one from wrestling, one from karate, one that was a friend of his that used to do it, but they had a bad like really bad but his friend had really bad like asthma that affected him very hard to where he had to stop sumo wrestling. And he's just going through it, helping his friends. And that guy was more outgoing, while Okarun, he's building up to become more of an outgoing person. And you can see that in later chapters. He is trying to solve where, right now, it is really Momo who is the one who tries to figure out the stuff on how to defeat the enemies. And she's a little bit more of the protagonist to me from what I've seen. She's the one who's done a lot of the finishing moves. But Okarun is now coming up to where he's the one figuring out what to do, how to do it, and trying to coordinate like what plans they should do. And it shows like them building up very well.
Well, yeah, I mean, Momo and Okarun are the centerpiece of this whole anime. I don't really think you can say one is more important of a protagonist than the other. The difference is Momo's personality is kind of like already there. Like she's the one who doesn't really need to go through any like major changes or anything in this. Okarun's the one who is like shy and reserved and all of that. And like he's the one who needs to come out of his shell and start like getting along with other people, everything. And you see that happen because of Momo. She's the one who, drags him along and everything. So she is less dynamic than Okarun, but there still are some things that need to get resolved on her end.
Yeah, for sure.
Fucker, Tatsu.
Yeah, for real.
I mean, what she is almost like almost kind of a pretty good, almost complete character. But what it is her interactions with everybody. She'll show contempt for some people, like with how it started with Ira. She really did not like her, but now how their dynamic is now is more like sisters that basically just yell profanities at each other. Like they'll just yell swears at each other, but they do care about each other.
Every interaction between me and my brother starts with us calling each other cunt and bitch.
Yeah, Momo is like the.
That's what it's like to have a brother.
Touche. I was going to say Momo is like the protagonist that that Disney has wet dreams about, but they can't achieve because the issue is that she her personality is sometimes a detriment to her, and she makes mistakes, and she's not perfect. Yet she is such a charismatic, compelling character and stuff. So good luck, Disney. I guess you're going to have to turn Japanese or something.
The issue with that is Momo is actually allowed to fail, to like have weaknesses, to do things wrong.
To learn from it, to get help.
But yeah, we kind of touched on something I did want to get to insofar as like character dynamics. One of the things that I like about the way this show has handled a lot of character dynamics is it doesn't make like a huge focus point of like mending relationships between people who get off on a bad foot. Like the whole thing between Ira and Momo kind of just sort of like resolves itself over time. They don't give it some like focused arc where it's like this whole thing of like they got to come to an understanding and everything. It's just over time you go from you're evil, I'm going to destroy you, I'm the chosen one and I was sent by God to stop you, to
God.
hey, are you okay? Are you doing all right? Like I'm really hoping that you aren't injured too badly. And like they're still calling each other ugly pig and skank, but like they actually are genuinely concerned for the well-being of the other.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
even with Okarun and Gigi and everything, like you don't get like some like big focus on like them becoming friends. It just sort of happens naturally with the flow of things. And
yeah, something that.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Crimson. No, I was gonna say something that I appreciated with this that was different comparing this to Dragon Ball was like how they dried out. And this is someone who loves Dragon Ball, but this is just real. Like they dried out Vegeta and Goku becoming friends like so long. Whereas in this one, like Momo and Ira are cool within like what, like 4 episodes, 3 maybe, and like how long does it take for Okarun and Gigi to like become homies? Like they're homies with
They start singing
like
slam dunk intros together in like 2 episodes.
Right. So like I just kind of appreciate that this doesn't have Dragon Ball writing where like if it was written by like the people that did if it was written by Toriyama, they would have waited 60 episodes for all of them to become friends. And this is something that just I think is just not needed. It was nice that they had it in like 3 episodes max so that we can focus on the actual bigger story.
And then this goes back to Dandadan's tendency to sort of like get back to doing the zany stuff that like makes it really like entertaining. And well, it doesn't like just completely neglect those things.
Mm-hmm.
It sort of just lets them go on in the background and resolve over time. Yeah, so I mean, that's why you're able to have these like really, really dark moments and then just transition into something else because that dark stuff is still there, but it's just not the focus anymore. It's just kind of like fading off into the background the further you get from it.
Well, by the end of Space Globalists, hasn't the entire story only been like 2 months?
I don't know about that. It depends.
It's been, I think, yeah.
Well,
3-4 months maybe.
It's been less than a year because they're still in the same grade.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, there is no graduation that they've shown.
Think about it. The first like 6 episodes are within a couple days, like 3 days.
Yeah,
and then the next 6 episodes are them going to Gigi's at basically.
That might have been like a day or 2.
Like a week, maybe.
Well, the whole Evil Eye arc happens over the period of a day. Like they get there, and then the day of, the subterraneans show up and do all their fucked up shit. And then over the night, they battle Evil Eye, deal with the volcano, and then after that, they go home.
Yeah, that was a whole.
And then
that was a whole freaking day. That's crazy.
I would say the whole show
about
1.5 max so far. Season 1 and 2, maybe a month and a half max.
We know at least a week passes in the Space Globalist arc. Probably a lot more because of how some certain things go down. But
it might have to do with mirrors.
It is a very fast pace, but like a lot of time has passed.
What was
because
that?
it feels like
It sounded
months and months have passed.
You were choking on.
I think you have a bad connection in your mic, Rolando.
He said,
"Rap."
I'm just giving you problems, man.
No, I put it in the private chat to like try and not like raise an issue of it like on stream, but like that was pretty rough. Like It sounds like there's a wire loose or something, or like the port's just bad and you need to reset it or something like that.
Yeah.
So
Either way,
something that I wanted to kind of bring up though too is that before I proceed with this question, Dandadan's officially considered a shonen, right? Like,
yes.
this is like a shonen
Technically,
show.
yeah.
Okay. So something that I wanted to know what you guys think of this. Would you guys mind if this was the formula for shonen going forward? Because I kind of prefer this now as a grown up. Because when I watched Naruto and Dragon Ball, I was a kid and I love those shows. But now, as a grown up, I kind of prefer this way of doing shonen. This is kind of how I like it now. So, would you guys say that this should be the new formula for how like shonen should go?
I
From
don't
now
think
on?
anything should be a formula when it
I
comes to
agree.
writing.
I agree.
Every story is going to be completely different. And I would also have to ask, like, what are you qualifying as this way of doing it? Like, what specifically do you like about this show that you think is better, like just the way it's structured over like Dragon Ball or Naruto?
How does it sound now?
You sound a lot better.
Yeah.
What I
Alright.
would say is that I think what's different with this show is that I think that the pacing's better. I think that overall, like I said, very small sample size, but I like Okarun better, I think, than I like Naruto. And I think it's kind of time for the trying to pick a fight protagonist and some of like the old tropes of shonen of like the main character really can't be all that smart. All that he does is he only just wants to fight. Like that to me, I think, okay, not the formula, tropes. I think that some of the old shonen tropes should be left like in the past, and they should follow what this follow what this show does, because this show, I think, is for a newer generation of shonen fans, and I actually really appreciate that they can reinvent what I think the shonen should be now. I
I have my
used
own
the
take.
wrong term. I didn't mean like the formula. I meant tropes. I think that they should run with these new tropes
Well,
and kind of
here's the
get
analogy
not
I'll give you.
Yeah.
Is tropes are just ingredients. You can treat writing like cooking. You're going to be using tropes regardless. And I'll raise a counter argument, like even to the point that I've raised earlier about like the hot-headed protagonist. It can be done right. In fact, there's a pretty recent anime that has a hot-headed protagonist who's always looking to pick fights, who's actually a good character that I really liked. And it's Sakura from Windbreaker. This is a guy who goes into the roughest school that he can find, specifically looking to pick a fight and make his name as the top dog, and like he still kind of got that like hostile attitude and everything, but the trope is done in a way to where like he is actually allowed some level of self-awareness and reflection. That's the big issue. Is you can have a hothead, someone who wants to pick a fight, as long as they're allowed to be a little bit self-aware and reflect on their actions, and like sort of calm down over time and be able to manage themselves better.
I mean,
Okay.
I feel like I have a good example.
I don't think you should completely disregard any tropes, because it's all coming down to how they are prepared. It's like saying you had one bad noodle dish, now noodles have to go to the wayside because they suck.
Well, I mean, like think of it this way. Denji's pretty much a hothead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you
And
can
a
make
horn
an
dog.
excuse for Denji because he's also retarded.
Correct. He's a
He
child.
didn't go to school, yeah.
All right, Eren Yeager.
Eren
I don't-
Yeager's a fuckwit.
Yeah, he's just retarded.
Yeah, he is dumb.
What's the difference between being a hothead and retarded? Because I would call somebody that I'm in a bar
Naruto.
with to get in a fight who's a hothead.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
Well,
and Naruto's also retarded. What do you mean? He's dumb as
here's
fuck.
the thing, though, is it really comes down to, like, is the person going to continue to cause problems and not realize it because of their hot-headedness? Or are they going to learn from the fact that their lashing out had consequences and be better about it?
Okay, so Ichigo Kurisaki's a hothead.
I guess you could say, but he doesn't really strike
a
me as
little
the
bit.
type.
No,
Like,
the very first episode, he beats the shit out of people because they skateboarded and knocked over a little girl's memorial, and he
yeah,
beats
but
the
he wasn't doing it out of some sort of personal disrespect to him.
No,
it wasn't like he had beef with
Doing it for
them.
the ghost.
He specifically did it for someone else. I wouldn't consider that hot-headed.
Yeah.
That's him having a protective personality
It's like
for
Naruto
the
is
innocent.
Describe me an actual character who is hot-headed.
Naruto's a
Is
hothead
retarded.
because his rivalry with Sasuke makes him constantly do stupid shit that gets people either put in harm's way or himself in harm's way.
But
And he almost never reflects on that rivalry.
So you would say that a hothead is a moron?
Not necessarily. I mean, kind of, yeah, because they don't know how to manage themselves. But it's specifically when it comes to being a hothead, it's kind of hard to describe this, but like you don't necessarily have to be stupid to be a hothead. It's just when a hothead is stupid, they're annoying because they never learn.
All right, I got a smart hothead. It's not necessarily from an anime, but here's one. There's two of them. You could argue that one's stupid. First one being the Hound from Game of Thrones. Second one being Anakin Skywalker. Both of which are hotheads. You could argue which one's stupid. You could argue that Anakin's dumber, but the Hound is most certainly a hothead, but he's definitely not stupid.
Yeah, I would say he's a hothead too.
Well, I mean, Anakin is like Anakin can be dumb.
Oh, Buffalo, that was good. I'm sorry, buddy. I should have given you a round of applause.
Sorry, man. Go ahead, Crimson. Sorry, man.
Anakin can be dumb, but he isn't like he doesn't. It's not like he lacks the skill to back up the things he does.
That's
like
true.
he's more often than not able to work himself out of his own.
Problems.
But I would say he's a hothead for sure.
Oh yes,
So-
that's like literally one of the biggest issues with his character and why he turns to the dark side.
Yeah,
I get why he did it.
Are too good. Hothead is that's not stupid. Like Denji is a hothead who's just dumb. Like Makima can be like, "Go and kill that guy," and he'll be like, "Anything for you."
Yeah, it's because he's a
Well,
simp.
He'll probably question it. He'll probably question it a bit, but if he gets convinced,
We'll talk about
he'll
it next
do
month.
Yeah, well, one of my favorite characters, the one that was like a really personal one to me, was Subaru Natsuki. He's a hothead, and that dude has an epic crash out where he is completely in the wrong. It's a huge filter moment for the season.
Actually, I have a good one.
But hold on. However, with every arc, with every failure Subaru goes through, he actually learns from what he does. He actually is able to recognize that like what he did is wrong and like do better on the next run and like not make the same mistakes over and over and over again.
Yeah. And I watched your video on Subaru and I agree with you. Sorry, Muffler.
Yeah, no, we're cool. So I'm gonna reel it back in. All right. We talked about hotheads, reeling it back in. So Roman, to your point though, I do think there is some stuff that other shonens I would love to see take from this and run with it. Okay. And I'll tell you, the one thing that means the most to me in this that I think would be really good for them to take and run with are realistic character writing, okay, regarding female and male relationships and being friends and stuff like that. The character writing between the characters is so strong and compelling compared to, I don't know, like, Sakura and, Sasuke and stuff like that. That is dog shit.
Jesus.
Even so I'm just saying, okay, like other shonen,
You're not wrong.
Writers fail very heavily when it comes to any type of romance, any type of character interaction on that capacity, and that's not life. I mean, I get maybe they're trying to be more specific to the demographic, but hey, you can still have good writing and have it be for a wider audience, even. So I think that there's certain things I would like to see that because Tatsu is phenomenal in that regard. Even better than Fujimoto. Fujimoto is kind of sadistic, and Tatsu is not. So that's what I would say on that.
He's a wild man. Fujimoto.
Yeah.
He not really love everyone so that he can rip your heart out.
Fujimoto likes the troll.
Yeah.
I do kind of agree with you, Muffler Tape, that there are certain things about this that I do think that a lot of writers could learn from. It's just I don't want to see when you talk about something becoming a formula or getting rid of certain tropes or whatever. I don't want to see entire sections of writing or entire like genres of writing get sterilized because one good thing comes along and everyone tries to copy it.
Yeah.
That's how we ended up with the massive swath of garbage isekai that came out for years and years on end. Not that I'm opposed to it because I enjoy garbage isekai too. Okay, don't get me wrong.
We're going that
I got
SAO
some of my
route,
favorite.
Enough, all right.
I'm not
got some of my
going to talk
favorites.
shit about SA. Hold on, guys. But it gets even worse when you have like you've heard me talk about like the I was backstabbed by my party in a dungeon and I still became the strongest kind of shit. That trope caught on. A lot of people started copying it. Same with like a lot of romance things. Like you get a lot of generic romances because certain tropes caught on, and people who are lesser writers don't really know how to address those in a creative way. That's the big thing that I think will drive a lot of the tropes being a lot of the bad tropes out of this is a lot of bad writers do a bad job of portraying things and just copy what's popular. With Dandadan, you can see there are a lot of tropes in there, and that's fine because at least Dandadan is making an effort to do things in a creative way, and Tatsu's handling his writing very, very professionally in how he does a lot of things. Like I do not see any flaws with this series insofar as his writing goes. Maybe direction or like his certain choices in how he wants to do it, but the way things are written. More so in like how he handles character relationships, how he handles a lot of the conflicts and stuff like that. Those are good things to learn from. But again, writing fiction. They're not so straightforward that you can formulatize it.
So
it's art. It's human expression.
Yeah.
And
I have
while
a
you may have
counterpoint.
preferences and you may like to look at things, I don't think it's necessarily right to say like I want this trope eliminated or I wish this trope like I want this to be the standard formula for everything.
But
that's how you end up. That's how you end up with Hollywood level entertainment that we.
I would also counterpoint. Yes. Hold on, I've been give me a second.
Sorry, I've been running for a long time. So we'll let
You're
Roland.
good. I've been waiting.
Sorry, Roland.
And I was trying to say, to your point with like the isekai thing, like that's why we're getting. And I'm looking at 3 different things in my room right now, and I came up with the first word, which is ant. This is why you can get if you have mangas that are coming out that are like, I touched an ant wearing a bow tie, and now I'm the king of all insects. Like that's like, and that's like all of them are simple, right? And like it's as simple as a monkey wearing a bucket hat talk to me, and now I'm the king of the jungle. Like that's and then you can just write bullshit. Like you don't have to actually put as much work. And I'm not saying that there's not storylines to these, and I'm not saying that they're not enjoyable, but it's a little bit more difficult to come up with something like Dandadan or Attack on Titan than it is for me to say, I started running a podcast and I talked to 5 guys. Like that's an easy fucking manga that I could write. It could just be different conversations every week. Like
I talked to 5 guys and I became really super popular for it, and now I make lots of money.
Right. See, that would be the name of the manga. But you get what I'm saying. I had to make that point is like Crimson's right. There's a difference here. Like and the isekai, like there is certain formulas that are just easy. I would say the isekai formula for anime is very similar to the mumble rap formula for rap music. It's just the same utter bullshit over and over again. Everybody does it. They're all talking about shooting, doing drugs, and fucking hoes. Like it's over and over again, and it sounds like this: ba ba da ba, shibba da ba, ooh ba, skibidi.
But all that isn't true. They're actually fucking each other.
Right. Well, that's true. We knew that now. Thanks, Diddy.
That's true.
But anyway, my point being is he's not wrong. These tropes do damage certain things. We just have to kind of break out of them.
Mm-hmm.
Hold
on, Roman. Rolando, did you have a point at some point during my rant, like
you said
monologue? I think you had a counterpoint you wanted to voice.
Yeah, just sometimes those like I got kicked out of my party, so I maxed out all my stats by cheating and all that, blah blah. Yeah. Sometimes we become gold, like it's like I got kicked out of my party, so I made my new party out of MILFs. Gold like that.
That's real.
is, we have
The
to
MILF Sakai,
appreciate those
yes.
small things we get. I haven't read too much of it. I didn't even read it. I just looked at the pictures and I'm like,
Pickles.
this is nice. But yeah, I do get it where that trope is it was just a way to catch someone was looking at the title, they could get a small and like descriptive enough title to see if the person's interested. That's why they started doing that. I remember
Yeah, well-
PewDiePie was making fun of that stuff. Like he was still making videos constantly where he was doing reacts on YouTube. That was like maybe I don't know. I was probably still in high school whenever that was becoming a trope. And
Well, yeah, I mean,
yeah,
and that is to the point of like you mentioned you sometimes find really good ones. That's what I'm talking about is occasionally you do have a writer who is actually really good, like No Longer Allowed in Another World, Ugly Mug Epic Fighter. Those were two isekais that I thought were going to be complete throwaways, turned out to be really good.
So
it all depends on the writer.
Yeah. Go ahead, Romans.
So I now that we've kind of talked about it, Crimson, you kind of made me understand like that there are some tropes that like you shouldn't like get rid of because they can be done. I guess it all just depends on the writer, but I also thought of it from like a different sense that like because this show was good, what I'm worried about too, along with you, is that like people are going to try to capture what this show did, but like kind of try to steal it. Kind of like what this would be reminding me of if it happens is when The Dark Knight came out, every superhero movie tried to be just like it afterward.
That's
without
true.
kind
No,
of,
you're right.
without kind of understanding like that, The Dark Knight was like a singular story. It's kind of like I don't want this show to get essentially lost in the shuffle. So now that you've kind of laid out your points, I see where you are coming from, because what makes this show unique and different, if we just like have that be in every one of the shonens going forward, this is gonna lose its luster. Kind of like when Syndrome says it, when everyone's super, then no one will be super. It's like if everyone copies what this show did, then this show won't be special. So I kind of get where you're coming from.
Well,
Yeah.
Roman, real fast, just to end on your point. We've already said tonight that there's an Avengers scene in this manga.
Yeah.
We say the word
And yeah,
scene
For a reason. Yeah.
because Avengers scenes exist because of the Avengers in 2012.
They need to do some like very similar like
You know they
music
will.
to
They're gonna
that
have to do like a
scene.
superhero landing or something.
Oh, my
too. Yeah,
goodness.
it's gonna be
Like
great.
if
know
they
they
do
will,
like
bro.
a full on like parody of like a
But no one has a shield to do the pretty
No,
cool Iron Man and Cat Blast.
It'll be like dun, 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 dun. Like it'll just be slightly different, dude. But they'll do it. You know they're gonna do it.
It would be
Dude,
great.
Kensuke Ushio is so damn good in his soundtracks that I have faith. Okay.
Yeah, he's
And,
got
Yeah.
it.
it's like
Got it.
this show is just one where like you get a whole lot of like interesting discussion out of it just because Tatsu is an amazing writer. I don't think there's any way around that. The fact that like he's able to weave a lot of these things in, you can sit here and you can look at it and you can sort of like theorize and like guess at what he's going to do and try and make predictions and everything. And like there are a lot of running plot threads that don't quite get resolved right away.
Right.
We're
Not yet.
looking at you, space globalists. We're looking at you.
So would you say that Tatsu's better than Isayama?
Oh, that's hard, bro. What the
It really
fuck?
depends on how you're going to qualify that.
We
If you're
haven't
talking
seen
about
it.
who has the series like immaculately planned out, you can make an argument that Tatsu knows what he's doing because he almost never forgets anything that that is going on within his manga.
He does keep
can't
up
really-
a lot.
I can't really think of a moment where he does that. But Isayama's plot was so intricately planned out, like everything mattered to the way it ended. My biggest complaint about Isayama is that he's a fucking nihilist, adding that last panel in.
Yep.
Like you could have easily left it with the ambiguous ending of like everyone on the boat talking about how they're going to negotiate peace with the rest of the world in Eldia. Because like they're traitors, you could have had that be the last scene, and you would have left everyone with some hope that maybe things get resolved, right? Isayama, his biggest flaw is he decided to try and go all the way and then end it with some fucking nihilistic bullshit.
Yep.
Tatsu is on a similar level. It's just I think Tatsu's a little bit more focused on the here and now and just sort of making things like fun and entertaining. They're kind of different writers, but in a very similar vein, and kind of you can see a lot of the similarities in the way that they write. Just in the fact that like a lot of the things they do end up mattering later on down the line.
Right.
You could say that everyone's borrowing from Oda in that regard, but
I think so.
you know, yeah.
You just made the point that I was going to make, which I think that people are borrowing from Oda and also borrowing from, and it's funnily enough, you don't have to bring it up, Bleach, because Kubo knew that he wanted the.
Shut the fuck up! You're going in jail.
I was about to say, like, oh, it happened again.
No, my point being is though, it
To
has
continue his point, Bleach is pretty good.
Yeah.
no. So what I was going to say was, so I think it would be more accurate to say that Fujimoto has it planned out.
Yeah.
Because I think he knows where he's going to end it. I think he already knows how Chainsaw Man is going to end. I don't think that Tatsu really knows where he wants to end this yet. He might have an idea of it, but I think with so much of the things that we've seen with Chainsaw Man at this point, there's no way he doesn't know how he's going to end it.
Yeah, well, therein lies one of the things that you just sort of like my brain just clicked on. Isayama and Fujimoto, they're very thematic writers. Like they have a point that they're trying to convey with what they're writing.
Exactly.
So obviously you would have to plan all those things out around that point.
Yeah.
Tatsu doesn't really seem to have like a major theme to Dandadan.
Exactly.
It's a little bit more of a fly by the seat
yeah.
of your pants kind of thing.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that.
And that's what makes it kind of very, very kind of human because you don't know where you're going to end up. You know?
Today's struggle is
And he's kind of making it to where.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. And all these characters, who knows how they're going to end up in the upcoming up story. Like, you know, you would assume they'll be good in the future. But, you know, who knows? Because at the very least, you know, he does want a happy ending. I think that is what he more than likely wants. He wants a happy ending to happen. He's not going to have something horribly sad.
I don't see how you could end Dandadan in a tragic way. That would
I think
fly in the face of its nature at this point.
It would betray it, is what
I think Dandadan is going to be more like the Naruto ending, where the whole 9 survive. You know, like all the squads. Well, I guess all 11, right? Because Neji dies. But like everybody else survives, and I kind of feel like that's where this is going to go. We're going to lose somebody. I actually think it might be Gigi.
I think I know who it is. Who we would.
I think it's going to be Ira.
I've kind of already voiced my opinion on the matter. Muffler Tape has already seen my theory on this.
Can you say the name without the theory, or is that spoiler?
I can say Turbo Granny without.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, I would. Yeah,
I think Turbo Granny is the most likely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think she's gonna sacrifice herself at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
but,
I do too.
Yeah, you have no context either yet. I mean, or you don't have full context.
There is so much reason for Turbo Granny to be the one to sacrifice herself.
So regardless of that, I mean,
yeah, because she is basically the other Granny of the group.
So I mean, out of the kids, right? Like, do you think we're gonna lose one of them, or do you think they're all gonna live?
I don't
think we're gonna lose one of them.
I don't think so.
That would be stupid.
How long do you want the show to run, though?
One Piece levels. What are you talking about, dude?
Well, that's what I'm saying. If it runs,
maybe not that long.
You know what?
But if it runs,
I'll stick with this if it gets 600 episodes.
Neji was gonna die, and then they just murk Neji with one shot out of nowhere.
Yeah, but Roland, that was stupid though.
One Piece ran for an eternity without killing characters.
Game of Thrones killed off the main characters in the 3rd season. Fujimoto killed off the characters in Chainsaw Man. I'm not going to spoil who.
Yeah, but here, hold on.
Yeah,
but you
don't need the death to happen for the series to continue and to be good. Like I said, One Piece only ever ended up killing characters in very major moments after like hundreds of chapters.
So that's
You
what I'm
get
saying.
one death. You
But-
don't need any of these characters to die.
No, I'm not saying I want them to. I'm saying who would be the most likely other than Turbo Granny? Who do you think it would be? Because I think it might be Gigi. Honestly, I think it might be.
I feel like it probably won't be someone from the main cast. It'll be one of their friends that they are pretty close to.
I was about to say it would be one of the other people. I specifically like long hair girl that we kind of discussed a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
You don't think
And
that's?
I'm not talking about
Oh, Ren.
No,
no.
no.
The recent one, her.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be the. I think it's gonna be.
Oh
the
man, I hope
mannequin.
not. She's really cute.
I think it's gonna be
Sim.
the mannequin.
It's not
Well,
my fault.
the
Right?
mannequin.
Taro?
He has
I
huge.
think-
Yeah.
No,
Taro.
don't do that to
Taro.
Taro. He found his love. Don't do that to him, bro.
that would
that's
be
fine.
a really good one though.
That's
to-
why I
Oh.
think Roman's on point. I think we're also going to lose Peony Weenie at some point.
Man,
No,
don't do that. Don't do
God.
that to
No,
Chicky.
I don't
do
think that
man.
would do it either.
I think it's
If
going
it's
to
gonna
do
be
it,
some,
you know.
if it's gonna be someone, it's
Yeah,
probably
the
gonna be one of the
dwarf
more.
You guys
Maybe
get mad at
Kiki
me,
would
but I'm
sacrifice
just
himself.
saying, I've read enough Chainsaw Man to not trust any anime at this point. Okay.
Okay, but here's
Juju
the
on us.
thing.
Chainsaw Man, you fucking retard! You're reading the most sadistic shit out there, and like, oh well,
Attack on Titan.
this clearly reflects on all
Attack
anime.
on Titan.
Fucking, no, I
Really?
don't care.
That's also
Tokyo
sadistic
Ghoul.
as fuck too, man. Like, no,
Sorry.
Bro,
No, I
like
know, but-
Chainsaw Man from chapter to chapter, Chainsaw Man is we are so up, and then we are so good.
yeah, we're crashing
It
every
is
chapter.
a roller coaster, all right.
I don't think with
Yes.
the way Dandadan has gone, it would be very suiting to have characters die out. And if you want to make the argument, you're not going to have like some of like the main long-standing characters go out unless they're like much more minor characters.
Okay.
And when I say that, I mean the ones who aren't necessarily super involved in the fighting of the in like the core fighting group.
Yes.
Yeah.
haven't
Peeny
argued-
Weenie, yeah, he's part of the core fighting group. Same with
Yeah.
Quinta, even though he doesn't like get a lot of
And
attention.
everybody catches
But
shit from him too.
I have an argument for
Holy
this.
fuck! If Kinta dies,
Oh no, dude!
No,
Don't
dude.
stop!
No,
it.
dude.
Stop
Don't even start with that. But I have an argument for this,
that would break my heart.
and you're gonna fucking hate me for it.
All right, shoot.
Nobody died in Bleach until the Blood War.
I'll slap you.
The
Get him outta
final
here.
arc, you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
kinda
then
just
everybody
cut
starts
through.
dying.
Yep.
All right, so I'm gonna explain something to you. What? Okay, in my opinion, all right, I think that if this story ends tragically, that would be such a
would
betrayal to the fans and the
It's
story's
not tragic.
tone.
If
To be,
you just lose a couple good people.
I understand that, but I'm speaking to the broader point of what was originally raised as far as like having a tragic ending, okay? Because I think it was Crimson that maybe mentioned that, or somebody mentioned, you know, like, so if you had like some maybe a serious character die, okay? Like maybe one of our Duragonists or whatever, you know, so like maybe Momo or Okaroon or something like that. If you had something to that level happen, this would be like Akaza shitting in the fucking mouth of every fan, okay? Being like, you really were attached to all them. Well, guess what? You're just going to die in the end. Have fun or something like that. You know, it would be absolutely
fly in the
horrible.
face of the entire theme of your show.
Exactly.
That 100%.
I mean, it would just be like, I mean, I hate to say it this way, but pissing off the Raylos by just killing off fucking Kylo Ren at the end. like,
Hey, that's good though. All right, they need to be pissed off. Okay?
no, I agree. They need to be pissed off, but it would be like doing that to like an actual good fan base.
Yeah.
And that's not cool. And I wasn't saying that to talk about Bleach in that way. What I was saying was they make you feel safe. They make you feel like all these people are like, yeah, they're really good, like, but then they face an enemy that's like actually brutal. And they
I don't
do
want
lose a
another
couple
tragic
great
anime
people.
though, bro.
It's not
I don't want another
tragic.
tragic
They
anime.
win. I'm just saying you might lose a couple people like Toba Granny or Seiko within that point. But like all the kids will survive, the main crew lives, but you might
I want
lose
everybody to be
5
happy.
characters in that final war. Dude,
Yeah.
we almost lost some people in the current war that I just read that.
Don't
Like,
spoil it for him, but yeah.
I
it's pretty
won't,
wild.
but like shit, bro. Like some people almost fucking died.
Mhm.
Look, man. Look, all I gotta say is, if Momo and Okaroon don't end up together and having 5 kids, I'm gonna be pissed. All right.
They are.
This is what I
endgame.
was promised. All right,
They are
Give me
Yeah.
a bill of goods.
They They are Endgame. That's it. Period.
I mean, absolutely.
Actually,
There's, like,
I don't actually know at this point, after how much I've read, who Ogur's gonna be with.
If he
Shut
chooses
up, all
Pyro,
right?
bro,
Yeah,
I'll be
you
so
shut up.
pissed.
You don't know. You're not current yet, okay?
Yeah,
I don't want to hear it.
this is where I go and I find the clip that tells you to shut your whore mouth. Where is it? Here we go.
Silence, you glorified wad of trash, or I'll squash you like a roach.
There we go. All right. Okay.
All I know is that Quinta is definitely gonna find love.
Yeah,
For
He
sure.
did- Go ahead, Roman.
I was gonna say,
he's gonna
like,
bust some cheek.
in all seriousness, though,
Alien cheeks, baby.
in all seriousness,
I hope
though,
for
like,
him.
I hope for the sake of all of us and for the sake of all of the fans, I hope that this show does not fumble. I don't think that it's going to, but I've had my heart broken a couple of times now when it comes to like Dragon Ball, especially with Naruto and Kishimoto. That's a whole nother thing. But point is that I'm just tired of either animes like fumbling or the sad ending, like with Attack on Titan, or like Evangelion, especially with like Evangelion. And
Yeah,
I get why it ended in the way that it did, but dude, that was why. But
It's
like
never out of just to like quickly like talk about like from like the perspective of someone who's watched a lot of anime, and I'll make this quick so you can get back to your point. It's never out of the realm of of possibility to fumble an ending, and it's not like unheard of to have a tragic ending. But by and far, good endings are generally the norm.
yeah.
Yep.
I just wanted to kind of put that out there though, that like for the limited anime that I've seen, probably like Star Blazers and like I guess maybe Naruto and I guess Dragon Ball were like the only ones that had like a happy ending. And I hope that this one does, because it wouldn't fit the show for like everybody to be all sad and like depressed.
Yeah.
He didn't watch Tokyo
Well-
Ghoul, did he?
No,
well,
No,
sad
he didn't.
thing is,
That was unfortunate.
well,
We
sad
can do
thing
that
is
on
with
Patreon.
Naruto, I think the Naruto should have just kept it like the anal sex with Hinata, because that way Boruto wouldn't have happened. Or that the
Boruto was born because Hinata didn't swallow.
yeah.
God damn it.
Okay. Anyway, to get back a little bit more on to
Reel it in.
to Don and stuff. I we've kind of talked about this, but I just love the creativity of like everything that Tatsu pulls from when he's like creating monsters for this series. That's one of the things that has really been like very appealing to me about this. It's just a lot of like the like urban legends and folklore, aliens and stuff like that. Like you get some like really obscure references, like later on, like the typhoon thing.
Yes.
Like that's an obscure one. But
That's also in Chainsaw Man too.
Yep.
But
This is
a lot of them are like very interesting to like get into. Like there are some like obvious ones like the Subterraneans that you meet. Turbo
Nessie.
Granny is a real like Japanese piece of folklore, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I've heard
I'm
of
wondering
her.
if you're gonna get something like Satoko, I believe is the yokai's name, like the
Reiko
thing from the
Kashima.
ring.
Yeah. Well, there's even more too. Like they introduce even more what'll be in season 3 too, and Roland was having a lot of fun with that, But
Dude,
yeah, go ahead.
I just gotta say the fleet that
Yeah,
you
yeah,
see
yeah.
a lot of. Muffler and Tape and I were having so much fun looking through the ships and being like, "Oh, that's a Star Destroyer. That's a fucking this class. Like that's a Battlestar Galactica. Like this is like, dude, they're all based on different things. There is a Yamato escort ship, like one of those like the ones that look like a submarine, but they have like the 4 Johns on the back, and 4 engines. In the very first episode of Star Blazers, there's one of them in the fleet. I mean, obviously the head ship looks like Chainsaw Man, but
just like with the kaiju, though, it's just different enough that it's not actually Godzilla, so that way they can't be sued for it, right? So that's the joke.
I remember I looked back at the manga and its horns were much more cone like S coming out of its head.
They're
Correct.
different.
Yeah.
Um,
I wonder why they changed it to more
Space Godzilla
back pointing horns.
So
I also kind of appreciated how like, I know I did it with Evangelion, but I'm also going to say here too, some of the aliens look like Titans, and so I kind of really do kind of dig how the sumo alien looked a lot like a Titan. I thought that was really cool. But then, bro, just, I never thought in an anime that we would get like a whole dinosaur, like just like a giant dinosaur in an anime. Cool is that? That is so cool. Like, I've never seen that in an anime. There might be others that have them, but I've never seen it in an anime like of this like level before. So you guys know more about anime. Like, are other characters in like other animes fighting like dinosaurs and stuff like that? Or like
Sasuke fought one and he got us in trouble.
Kaiju number 8 kind of has some kaiju in it.
Yeah.
Especially whenever kaiju number 10 shows up, the music blowing up and stuff. Whenever he does his like transformation, was a really good scene. For me, like it was awesome listening to that music. But yeah, with that space kaiju, it was just great. I had fun reading it in the manga, but whenever with the anime, the music, the freaking the references to the charging up of its atomic blast, like with Godzilla, it's that's really the anime. This is one of the examples of the anime adding a lot to the freaking source material. And like Crimson has said it multiple times, the anime probably is better in a lot of ways than the manga.
Yeah. So
it makes certain improvements on the manga, but like it's I wouldn't say like majorly better. It's just there's certain things that it does to a better degree.
That's kind of something that like I always ask every time that we do one of these fictionologies is like, is this better or worse than the manga overall? Because when I read this manga, how much different is it actually going to be in terms of reading this compared to like the anime?
It's like panel for panel and then plus some.
Okay. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's very weird whenever they make a change, which we can get into in a little bit. But there's minor stuff. But so Roman in Crimson, is it okay if I ask Roman a question?
Go ahead. I'm looking for something right now.
Okay. So Roman,
it's appropriate.
I didn't have a chance to be with you at the end of the second season, the cliffhanger and everything like that. So what I would say is that you're the only anime only here, and so what are your expectations going into season 3? What did you think about that cliffhanger? Just any thoughts around that whole thing about where the story may be going or something along those lines?
Honestly, dude, I kind of like when I get left on like a cliffhanger, I kind of wasn't really thinking about like where it was gonna go next. I'm kind of just thinking like my brain was just trying to process it, but like I'm just curious like what's gonna happen to like all of these characters, because I know that there's still stuff going on like in like the manga that like there is more after this, but I don't know anything about it. So I'm scared that like hands are gonna be thrown and people aren't like gonna die, but
hands will be thrown.
Oh yeah, hands will be thrown.
Ira's dead, bro. The house blew up.
Correct.
She's dead as fuck.
Yeah, that was a fun addition that they did from the manga. That was the that was a fun ad.
What I tell you is, before you asked what I am expecting, I'm I am expecting some crazy shit. That
Yes.
that is what
Yep.
that's
That's
and
what you're
also
fucking in for, bro.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
also this is the first time that an anime has left me on a cliffhanger before.
So you're reading
And
the manga?
what?
I said, so you're gonna start reading the manga?
I am, so that I can actually be caught up because I need to know what happens next. So I'm going to read it and I'm scared. And I hope that whatever I see after the Space Globalist arc, I hope that it gets adapted panel for panel from, page to show. And I'm I'm scared because from what I've seen after the Space Globalist arc, from what people have said, I try not to look into spoilers, but people are like, bro, this current arc that they're on in the manga is insane. So I don't know what they're
That's
gonna do,
part
but
of
I
Space
am scared to
Globalist.
see what happens.
Space
I am so
Globalist
Straight
scared.
up.
arc, right?
The one fight I cannot wait to see is, I'll just call it the jumping of Okarun. That
Yeah.
that like
Yeah.
that
Oh,
mess
during
of a
Space
fight.
Globalist?
Him versus
Dude,
that black alien. I want to see that
dude.
fight so
Whoa,
bad.
hey,
Yo.
hey, we're getting a little racist here.
That black alien?
I won't
They're from
say any more
Nigeria,
about
it's
how it
okay.
looks. All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
He came here legally, guys. I mean, come on.
Well, none of them came here
He's not a
legally.
green card. Come on.
No, there's a lot of good
not
stuff.
these.
I'm particularly looking forward to a lot of the things that happen in Act 2 because like that's where we get Brella Boy. That's where we get
Yes.
we get the magical girl stuff. And,
Yep.
Count. We get the
and
count.
we also
showing up.
get
Oh my
this,
God.
and this meme lives in my head rent free. Okay, I don't know if any of you have seen this one. This may get me demonetized, but who fucking cares? Let's just
I care. We just got you monetized.
Yeah. See this? Yeah, I remember you showing this.
Yeah, pretty much.
I can't wait for that whole thing to get fucking.
So,
I've been
I
looking
know
for
I-
that for a while because I needed everyone to see that. I needed the stream to see
Yeah.
that
that's
because
what
that's
Muffler
just
Muffler and I cut the other day on the count,
Yeah.
and I am a big
CSG.
fan.
For
I am
spoiler reasons, we just say
CSG.
CSG. Okay.
yes.
I am
Because
a
his name is important.
I'm a big fan of the history of that person. I've watched so many videos and done so much. Like I was like, no way, Tatsu did that. Because all I
What do
did
you think of his design in this adaptation of him?
Oh, it's hard for me to say without because I know the story of the person, so it's hard for me.
Okay.
To say.
How much do you know, like what he's doing right now? Like
I've only seen him, and I've seen.
okay,
training
so
Just the panel with the
he is
sword.
unaware of any of the other interactions. Okay,
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct. It's
all I
literally
know
the
about
one
the
panel.
character is what is historically said about.
just
him.
the one panel where he's first introduced.
Yeah, where they're like, why is CSG
Here's my
helping
hint.
them? Yeah, and then cut.
Here's my hint.
Hyper geezer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. So my hint would be Castlevania, the anime. There's my hint.
Oh,
Castlevania, the anime, you know what character I'm talking about. That character also appears in this manga.
see, because like I don't know anything about that character that you know a lot about, other than like the manga. This manga,
It's a real life person.
real life person. That's kind of what I thought. That his name Count, CSG is. It just sounds like such a name that is like that has to be someone real. Because how would he come up with it?
The Count of. He appears. It's so hard for me to describe why I'm so hype on this without actually I don't know spoil anything by saying it.
Roland. So this ties in perfectly, okay, of Tatsu seeding stuff, just like you have, with Oda and stuff, right? So if you think back to the start of the Evil Eye arc, there was a poster. Do you remember what the poster said?
It wasn't a soccer poster, and it said
Yeah.
Fuck, what did it say on it?
Gee,
Well,
I wonder
yeah,
what it could say.
I wonder what it could say.
I don't remember.
It's like an inspirational quote. I remember it.
No, it's not.
No,
it's
a
not.
soccer team.
Yeah, it's a soccer team.
Oh no, you're right. It's the name of a soccer team, but
Yeah.
it's
Mhm.
Oh my god!
Yeah, he totally
Oh
did
my
that.
god! Because I said it during the watch party.
Yeah, you did.
Holy fuck!
Funny how that works.
Yo!
And as far as that goes, like, I'm wondering what they're gonna do with the
No, 'cause I
Subterraneans,
remember I
given
said
their
that to Muffler Tape. I was like, wait a second. What the fuck?
like. I wonder what they're gonna do with the Subterraneans. Like, is that like the last we're ever gonna see of them, or like, is there still more for them to do? They kind of feel like Team Rocket, to be entirely honest.
Yes.
Where you're
Roaches.
just gonna
Yeah.
They're
sort
the
of like see them
roaches,
show up.
literally.
So they haven't.
They're gonna have to have a
Underground.
conclusion.
So they actually haven't come back.
That's up to your interpretation.
All right. Well, like the way you're saying this, like I remember my friends talking about it before I was even into this. When they were trying to get me into it, they're like, "Bro, they're subterraneans. They're like the mole people," and I was like, "What?"
Mhm.
And like
No,
this,
I mean,
Yeah, I would just-
this is
I
is
would-
definitely one of
Mhm.
those double entendre for those of us who have read the manga and for those of us who haven't. Because you know about the Subterraneans, you just don't, know about the Subterraneans.
well, I'm on episode. I'm on
Yeah.
chapter 21, right? Isn't that what
Yeah,
I'm on?
121 now. You only have 89 or so chapters to go, somewhere around there.
Fuck! I wish I had more.
Yeah.
Don't
Because-
worry, he comes out weekly. He puts out quality basically every week. And
Oh, I know,
anytime he takes a 1 week break or something like that, it's like, yeah, you needed to rest, bro. You
Dude,
cook
Muffler
too
Tape
much.
and I read like how many chapters did we read last night?
Like 30,
I was gonna say we read
90
like
to 120. Yeah, 30 chapters. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
That shit was
shit.
lit.
But yeah,
We've
I
been
mean,
hanging out watching manga. That's why the manga together exists.
and I guess this is the point where we can start getting into like some of like the finer details of the anime and stuff, and like talk a little bit about that because we've kind of gone over a lot of like the writing stuff and like the bulk of that. Because I do want to talk about the fact that the soundtrack for this whole show,
Okay.
the soundtrack,
Okay.
the
Yeah.
colors and everything, they're
Okay.
fantastic. Like, we'll get to that, dude. We will get
All
to
right.
that.
So, firstly, if we're talking about the soundtrack, I might stir a little bit of an argument here, but first intro or second one?
First one.
First one's technically better, but it's like
Yeah.
1A, 1B to me. They're both very, very, very good.
They're both
I actually
great.
like
Like
the
it's a
second
very
intro
close.
more.
So
Okay.
I like both of them
That's respectable.
a lot,
Yep.
but I've listened to the first one a lot more because like it's just a bomb, ba bomb, ba bomb, ba bomb, ba
Oh
Dude,
yeah,
they're all
the
dancing.
first one's catchy as
They're all
hell.
And
dancing.
it's the
Like,
rap.
yeah.
it's the
I love
rap
them
that gets
both.
me the freestyle. If we don't know, get up. Like that's just, dude. It's so
But-
good.
It just so happens that I'm one of those people who isn't like super crazy about creepy nuts. So like I don't hate their music. Like the stuff that they did for Call of the Night, it's great. Like Mirage, what is it? Yofukashi no Uta.
Yep.
The outro to season 1, like all that stuff. Good songs. Like I
They also
genuinely don't
did
hate
to,
creepy nuts. It's just I prefer Aina of the End's intro to Dandara. It's just a little bit more my style.
It's a little bit more.
You're just showing your
second
bias
time.
for women.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? Yeah, wasn't it also Mob Psycho that Creepy Nuts did? Am I wrong?
No, they did
No.
not.
No.
Yeah.
That was the Mob 100 choir that does a lot of it.
Actually, does all of their intros.
Okay.
Or
Yeah.
most of their intros.
Those are banger songs.
Yeah, they are.
That may end up being another Fictionology at some point in the future.
I'll have to watch it.
Yes.
I'll have to watch it too.
Oh, dude. Yeah. Great
Anyway.
3.
I may be a hater for that one. Who knows? You know,
Yeah,
we'll just
me
have to
too.
roll the dice.
Oh,
I'll have to
Crimson,
watch it too.
you actually prefer the second intro over the first one. I gotta tell you, while I respect where you are coming from, the second that I knew that this anime was going to be goated was when when they're all dancing in that first
Yeah,
intro,
bro.
it was like, Mwah.
No,
like
it's by no means a bad intro. It's just it comes down to personal taste. Like
Yeah.
a lot of people
Fair
hate
enough.
the new intro to Kaiju number 8. I like that more than the original one.
Just
It just
I'm
doesn't
weird.
fit so well. I mean, for me,
What?
you know,
which one?
I haven't
What about
listened to it.
ending?
I have to start watching it.
So
Mm.
honestly, when it comes to the first intro, the reason that it gets me, dude, and I think it's very similar to Roman, dude, the freeze frames, the outfits, and the coloration, mixed with the song and the animation, is very, very similar to old school anime intros, and it's like, dude, it just hits. Like the freeze frames of every character, you're like, who's that? Who's that? Who's that? Well, clearly they're going to be important, but I only know one guy right now, and his name's Okaroon, and he's reading a comic book about, or a magazine about aliens. You know what I mean?
It does.
Yeah.
It's the intro for the first Donanon intro does remind me of Cowboy Bebop's with
Yes,
the
it's like
solid
Cowboy
colors
Bebop.
over on top of the people, showing them up and stuff.
Yeah,
You
if
know,
you watch some of
different
the
type of
old
music,
Bleach
but it's still
intros-
good.
If you watch some of the old Bleach intros, mix them with that, Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo, it's like those three mixed together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good call out.
One of the things that I wanted to bring up about the soundtrack is just like the variety of stuff you get with this, because it's kind of hard to make one sound for like a series that is as across the board as this, because you've got on one hand you have like the kaiju stuff, which the whole kaiju and giant robot thing had some like great music to that. I like both of these.
Yeah.
And then on the other hand, you have like the paranormal stuff, and just paranormal funk as a like piece of background music is great.
It's cool.
when they're chasing when they're chasing
Yeah.
when they're chasing the mannequin dude,
Taro.
that song is awesome. That song is awesome.
The William Tell overture. Yeah.
Yeah, great implementation of that classic song.
But even just like the shift in like color that you get for like when they start using yokai power, like when you first like see Okaroon start like going all out against the flatworm alien, like just the everything gets like grayscaled, and then you just have that like bright red color. That's great. A similar thing happens with like Gigi and Evil Eye, where like you have like the overwhelming like purple. And it's very interesting because the guy who directed the intro for season 1 was like a co-director for season 2. And it was actually one of his suggestions. They were going to make all of Evil Eye's stuff white.
Oh no, don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
they decided that it was the guy doing like the
Wow.
co-direction and everything who was like, no, we should make it purple. Purple's a better color for this.
Yeah, purple just feels more
So they-
natural.
They brought in some really
So-
good staff to do all this stuff.
So-
And this
so
is what I learned going to the theatrical releases. Like
Am I
there's
not
a lot of good information about the production in
So
there.
we're sitting here talking
Wait,
about
wait, Roman, real quick. Am I not mistaken
sorry, Roland.
in the fact that when Ira first transforms, like fighting the Loch Ness monster, isn't there like a pink hue on everything? Am
Yeah.
I wrong?
Yes.
There is,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah,
everybody,
hers does have pink hue.
dude, I think one of the coolest transformations is when in the first episode when Momo like escapes. What's up, Arceus Rules?
Hey Arceus, how you doing?
Yo, what up, dude?
Yo, yo.
Oh, man.
I think it's great
Who?
that like when Momo
He's a guy I stream with.
breaks
We
out.
talked quite a bit about seasonal anime. And
When
I mean, if
Momo-
he's
Oh,
up
yeah, I
for
think
it,
I've
he
seen
may
him.
be joining us for SAO, because I'm pretty sure he was pretty excited about that one.
Hell yeah! But when Momo breaks out of the Serpoian like chair in the first episode, that transformation right there, the
Yeah,
animation.
it was like a
that-
galaxy around her. It was pretty.
So that's what I knew, and the way
You're
that she's
such a
holding
gooner.
the thing and her earrings are spinning and everything, I was like,
What-
no,
I said
yeah,
the galaxy.
it was goated. Like
her
it
in her underwear.
was so good, dude. When is
So-
SAO? SAO is January, right?
SAO's
No,
November. We
November.
got Chainsaw Man next month, which
Oh,
we'll have to talk about a
SAO 's
little bit backstage because there's some stuff I want to talk about there.
Okay.
And then we have
All right.
SAO, and you have to remind me if it's like the first 2 seasons or something like
Yeah.
Well, I
that.
think that's what we're
seasons.
gonna do, right? We're just
Mhm.
gonna do SAO and then Gun Gale, right?
Well, both seasons, so yeah.
That's a conversation that we'll have later on. We'll get back to the Dandadan stuff.
Sorry.
So
So who was
I actually
going?
wanted to. So just to go back to the music for a quick second because this didn't hit me until we were like talking about it, but there's also a couple of more instances of music that I really think were like implemented really well, and it goes back to the whole flashback sequence with like Ira's mom. I
Oh,
think wow, like
piano, bro.
like
Oh my god.
dude, the scene itself is sad, but the
Jesus
music,
Christ.
bro,
You're right.
the music wrenches your heart out because it's literally just piano the whole time, and then there's
Yeah.
Oh,
there's like some parts of it that are like happier notes, and then like when they play the sad slow notes, it's like,
yo,
bro,
and Muffler Tape and I were just talking about this last night with the first person and how when Ira does a certain move during the fight, we think it's going to be first person and then shot outward. That scene that he's talking about right now with Ira's mom, well, like not really Ira's mom, but like you know what I'm saying.
Acro Silky.
Silky, that use of first person, sorry, the fuck, was actually horrifying.
It felt raw as shit.
Felt that
And
shit
then-
in your heart, bro. You felt that woman.
Again, people forget very easily how dark Don the Don can be at times.
It's
And
in a
then-
realistic world.
And then
Yeah.
the second instance is when Ogurun transforms for the very first time, bro. The music is insane in that scene.
Yeah.
Dude, it goes so
That
hard when
intro is
he like
so
transforms for like the first time. It's mwah, like it's just
Oh.
beautiful.
We cannot forget the pinnacle of Don the Don music, the Hayashi performance.
Yes.
This
Yes.
is the most high effort adaptation of a piece of manga that I have ever seen. They
Yes.
went all out for it, and it was perfect.
I love how they were all
got the
bouncing their
exact
heads.
right people
Yep.
to do it. They like animated that spectacularly. Like I expected them to like kind of breeze over it, like most manga and anime would do. Like you just like kind of allude to the fact that they're singing and everything. No, they full on got a band together to write a song and play it. And like
Yeah.
they animated the whole ass performance. It like that had me like smiling from ear to ear the whole time I was watching that. The Hayashi performance was
so
fantastic.
Oh man.
Dude, both the
That-
Japanese and English versions have been awesome. Like I listen to
Yeah.
those regularly. Like
Yeah.
Hunting Soul is
I think that that spells really good news for later parts of the seasons too, because there's this is not the only time that music was heavily featured,
Yes.
and so for those that know, like we're just hoping for that baby metal. All right, we'll see what happens. Okay,
Yes.
all right.
Oh yeah.
baby metal for that part of the manga would be
Yeah.
so great.
That'd
Hold
be
on.
really awesome.
So
all right?
you've talked to me about this, the two of you. I just have to say, I think there's going to be a point in time. I'm sorry, my dad just got home, so I said what's up real quick.
Mhm.
I think there's gonna be a point in time where it's gonna be again, maybe final arc type shit, where it's like, oh, war, and they're like, we gotta call everybody, and then the Hayashi just come in.
Oh, it won't be just them.
No,
okay?
it won't be just them, I'm sure. But like you're gonna have like multiple different freaking bands doing again spirals.
Yeah.
Like because that's sound waves. Like I'm just
No, that's not the only time vibration is even mentioned in this series. Are you kidding me? There's
I
so
just
much
gotta
stuff.
say, like,
all
Like,
the time.
So the first time, like they're doing all of that to like set up for the Hayashi performance. That's like a whole reference to Back to the Future. Like they do the
Yeah,
exact
I
same thing
saw
you
that.
see in Back to the Future.
the exact same thing. You're right.
And then you get that first guitar riff that like
They're
chills
all,
down
like-
my spine when I got that. I was like,
They're all
in
bobbing
that,
their
in that
heads
moment, I was
like
like,
this.
oh, are we really gonna do this?
they made you
The
think.
graves, and then like all of like the dead souls all like coming to hang out, bro.
That
It's
was awesome.
crazy to me.
Yo, the fact that Seiko is literally just like,
Yeah, just headbanging while
perfect
praying.
it's so sick, bro.
That's the coolest exorcist I have ever seen
I
in
said
anything
that,
ever.
bro. I told you that.
Oh,
Roman.
we haven't. You know what's messed up?
I was like, Roman, this
You
is
know
the
what's
coolest
messed?
This
exorcism
is
you'll
why
ever
we need to get to part 2 as fast as possible because I
Yeah.
need that.
Yeah, for real.
You know what's messed up? We haven't said anything about how great Seiko is. Just overall.
needed to, but I think you're
Yeah.
correct. We should praise her a little bit.
Dude, when she
Roman?
puts her hair down for the first
Dude, she's
time,
got some nice
oh my
personality. I mean,
God.
personality.
Personalities are great.
All around. Yeah, she
So,
may be
bro,
a grandma,
listen to me,
but
listen to
damn.
me, listen to me. That shot when Gigi shows up and they show her,
She converts a man.
dude, she could. How old is she?
We
60?
don't know.
Unconfirmed.
Confirmed.
Yeah,
Nobody knows how
unconfirmed, but
old she actually is.
Is she really a grandmother, Roman? Is the
Correct.
question.
Like,
It's just the
That's
mystery.
actually
Don't
one of
know.
the big mysteries that has been like bothering me. We know about Gigi and Ira's parents. We have never heard anything about Okarun and Momo's parents.
you have to
Yeah.
be a mega fan. One second here.
All right, yeah, you
Yeah,
are,
you guys
mother,
keep
because
going.
of that these triggers.
Sorry,
So
cue the Obi-Wan.
Clearly, like Psycho
I-
is like pretty wise, you know, for her age.
You can be very
Whatever it
wise
is.
for your age at the age of 30.
Yeah.
okay, so
And who
listen to
knows?
me. I just wanted to say that she could that if my lady who told me that she was going to sub to Crimson, if she subbed and she's seeing this, listen to me, okay? look at Seiko yourself, okay? Listen to me. Listen right now. She could fix me. She could fix me. She could change me into a better human being, okay? She could make me the man that I need to be, okay? She would love me and cherish me. As a matter of fact, she's my new waifu. I am no longer on the Gothic arc. I am on the Seiko arc. She is indeed the one lady in this world that I need desperately.
At the very least,
I'm
she's a
done.
cougar.
I don't care.
Yeah.
All right, so everybody clip that.
Yeah, that's a clippable moment. But yeah, so what I was trying to say, so to your point, Crimson, okay, so you have to have such a fandom around this because Tatsu does not explicitly provide stuff in the manga always. And so what I have in front of you here is the encyclopedia guidebook from Japan that I imported because there's no telling how long this is going to take to come to America. And I was like, F that. I'm going to bring this over. I'm going to get a copy of this because in this, it does actually have information on Okarun's parents. Okay. However,
you
it does
have a
not answer
compatriot.
related to Momo, though. So.
Yeah, Roman, nobody's judging you for that, by the way.
Anyway, sorry to interrupt you. I just wanted to say that you were saying something about it.
Well, what part did you guys not catch? My bad.
You said something about Momo right at the end.
Oh, yeah. I said it does not say anything about Momo's parents, though. So that is still a mystery, okay? And the same thing with Seiko. But it does feature a very interesting father figure in Okarun's life. So I'm very curious if they bring that into the anime at some point. That would be very nice.
So what do they
Well,
mention?
as you've shown, it's only his back. We only see his back. That's
yeah,
it.
here, I'll find it.
So can you mention actually, like, does he have two parents and then a father figure, or does he have like one mother and a father figure? Can you full screen him?
I'm about to. That's what I was working on.
So this
Yeah,
is
that's it.
if I can get it to focus.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, so this is Okarun spending time at home with his dad, okay?
After doing a newspaper delivery run.
In the morning, because he's got to have a job, you know. But yeah, so this is what.
So he's an only
That boy hustles.
Yeah. So
He's
there
a
is no
hustler,
mother
boy.
featured, okay? But yeah, there you go.
Oh, so he's got a dad. It's probably just his dad then.
Potentially, yeah. His mother's not
Maybe.
mentioned. Oh yeah.
And that's a hint. It could be a hint at maybe his story being a bit tragic.
I hope
a
this
hint.
doesn't turn into a Star Wars reference.
I was gonna say,
He's
God
my
damn it,
brother.
they're Luke and Leia.
Don't you do that. Don't you do that.
You know what? You know what though? Here's the thing. Why the
I would hate it too, Muffler Tape.
Okay, I'm
I
just
would
saying, man.
absolutely hate it.
okay?
Like
but
the only reason I gave the Oshinoko incest ending a pass is because it was better than what we got.
here's the
You're
thing.
smart,
though.
yeah.
You guys are talking to a Bleach fan. Nobody thought that Orihime was going to end up with Ichigo. Nobody thought that.
I did.
No,
Like,
everybody thought
dude.
it was going to be Rukia from the beginning. Come on.
Well,
No.
I
Who
didn't
the
let
fuck thinks Rukia?
the anime.
Most at the time, most people.
Okay, well, most people are fucking retarded then.
You barely watched it. Seriously. Anyway,
What the fuck do you mean I barely watched
The
it?
adage of that, dude. Look.
I'm not throwing my point.
I did it superficially. I just saw the two redheads. I'm like, yeah, they have to be together no matter what.
No, see, I see it like, yes, they could be together, but I could also see the subversion of like the same thing where you expect. No,
Yeah.
dude, it was split. It was split.
I was
It's
gonna
not-
say, I'm
you're
pretty
talking
sure
about-
a lot of people were convinced it was going to be Orihime because honestly, that's pretty obvious. But there were people who were opting for Rukia because she had
No.
more presence in the story.
At the time,
Because of
from
the producer being a dickhead.
from the very beginning, up until the arc where they actually go to save Orihime and they make
For
it
the
clear
director.
she's got feelings for Ichigo. Up until
Yeah,
that,
before the Arrancar arc is starting,
Yes.
yeah.
yes, up until that point, everybody thought it was going to be Rukia and Ichigo, and then that's what switched everything. That's not what I'm saying.
And then also the thing was Ichigo was always pretty awkward around Orihime too. Like that those are the hints that I got too.
But he was also awkward around Rukia up until that point. Then he got very protective over Orihime, and everybody realized, oh fuck, that's who he's going for. Whatever. That's
Yeah.
besides my point. My point being is, I think Kinta's going to end up with Vamola. I think that fucking. I think.
What
it's
do you
very
mean?
possible- I think it's very possible that Ira, but I don't know the other characters yet. But I think it's very possible that Ira does end up with Okarun and that Gigi does end up with Momo. And I'm not saying I.
Don't put
I'm
that
not
into the
tolerating
ether.
any of that. We're not.
Don't-
Yeah, like
don't
this
put that into the
opening
ether.
can of worms we
Don't
can't
put that
talk
into the
about.
ether.
No.
Yeah,
Hell no.
he
Not-
needs to shut
that's
his
not
mouth
happening.
up, okay?
That get that evil out of here. Do not speak that evil in here.
I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying I think it's
Roland?
possible.
Roland,
You don't understand, man. You need
I'm
to not
arguing for
speak
your
that evil.
censorship.
There's some people I thought wouldn't die in Chainsaw Man, and they're not back yet.
All right, I retract my statement about being a free speech absolutist. Whatever this crap that's spewing out of this guy's mouth right now absolutely needs to be illegal, and like capital punishment should be deployed.
It's considered
I second
devil's,
that.
it's considered devil's advocate. I don't want this. I don't want anything that I just said it to happen. I'm just saying.
Then why are you
there's a
putting it into the
possibility.
ether, bro?
Then shut your fucking whore mouth, boy.
Oh, man. So that's an interesting thing.
Well, we're not bullying
just
Roman
don't
tonight.
admit
We're
that you
bullying
know it's a
Rolo because he's
possibility.
being
You
fucking
just
Yeah.
retarded.
I'm not
Rolo
saying
is target
good.
number one.
Listen, I've been trained at this point by so many anime, fucking breaking my heart that I can't.
I understand that, but like,
Princeton,
just-
you are a Black Swordsman fan. Come on, you can't trust anything you read.
why can't we just have?
Still a possibility,
You
all
don't
right.
read enough if you think you can't trust everything you read.
Why can't we just have Okarun and Momo? What is so hard to comprehend?
I'm not saying we can't.
Right.
I'm saying that's what I want. I'm just saying there's a possibility we might not get that.
So
I don't see it given Okarun's disposition towards Ira.
Yeah.
Yeah. one
He
thing I am
wants to be
curious
friends
about-
with her.
Yes, I
That's
agree.
true. Yeah. So one thing I am curious about though is like, and God, this is getting into the shipper territory, and that's a weird space to be in. But like, so with the way Tatsu, I know, right? Anyway, so the way Tatsu has done his character storytelling and the interactions between the characters, is there like anything that people would like to see happen among characters? And we can not reference, or we can keep it vague, I guess, for the manga folks. All right. To make sure that the anime onlys don't get spoiled. But like, is there anything that you would like to see develop because of where we're at in the manga right now? And then, for animes, as well, from your perspective too.
Roman, it looks like you're about to blow up.
Well, real fast. I mean,
What-
this is a little bit interesting because Crimson Muffler and Rolando are all caught up.
Yes.
I'm like,
You're getting there. You're 3 arcs behind. Okay,
yeah,
at least.
All right.
I'm farther than Roman, but Roman's only seen up to season 2. So I feel as though Roman should answer first, and then I answer.
Yeah.
All right. What is the chubby dude's name? The one that we met towards the end of season 2.
Aaron Yeager.
And
or Kingta, if you want to be, extra saucy. He's the king.
It's Kinta Sakata.
Kenta.
10-gallon wiener.
Great first sauce king.
10-gallon wiener.
Pure
Kingta.
beef.
Okay.
Pure beef.
Hear me out here. Hear me out here, y'all. Okay. Quinta and Seiko. We need to get
Oh my
Mahoney
God.
away. Okay.
Bro.
I'm gonna take myself out.
Yeah, for real.
That's a problem for Seiko. Like, what the heck?
There's only
You
one
can
person that
stay
gets a
in-
pass.
You can stay in gay baby jail for that comment.
That was insane.
Rolo
What the
just
heck?
straight up fucking left the call.
What?
He didn't even go backstage. He just left the call. Yeah,
I
Rolo
mean-
just like full on left. Okay. Anyway,
Wow.
No,
here we go.
in all seriousness though, like so actually Quinta and Ira actually I think would actually be like
I don't. Well, I guess
That's interesting. That's a good perspective.
That's
from
interesting.
where
the
you're at.
nerdy part.
okay,
Maybe.
okay, no. Hear me out though. I only want that so that there's no possible way that Okaroon can, get with Ira. I want Quinta to get with Ira so that Okaroon and Momo can be
Roman.
like
What do you do about Gigi?
What do you also do about the alien?
He's left to watch.
What do
I
you do
can
about
put-
the alien that kissed.
I can
Okaru
put
again?
I can put Gigi with one of Momo's friends.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Oh, you know what?
Yeah, they do
actually-
kind of like him. So yeah.
I get or class
Yeah,
rep.
they do.
I actually fuck with that.
The
how
black one, especially.
But Roman,
Muko,
how do you feel about the alien chick that just kissed him?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Where's she gonna fit? She's there to find a husband, and Okaroon is her husband. She
Hey,
says.
hey,
what?
Yeah,
hey.
for real, dude. You gotta like no.
What do you mean? That's in the episode.
Not that episode. No, it's
No,
not.
it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
The next,
Yes, it is.
No.
She's like,
No,
no,
it's
it-
not.
it
she's
wasn't.
for marriage.
It's
She
not in
didn't.
the episode. That is not
At all.
anime information. At
That was
all.
just
Yeah,
a kiss
correct.
at
Did they
all.
not mention that?
Even though-
Did they not?
No, dude,
No.
you are so scrambled. That is closer to the end of.
No, it's not, dude. She said because when I read it last
Stop.
night,
Yes, because that was a
You
flashback.
read it.
Stop.
You
No,
read it,
stop.
dude.
Stop. That was a
What's going
flashback.
on?
Nothing.
Roland,
Right
your
in my
memory.
mind.
I'm gonna be straight with you. Your memory kind of sucks sometimes.
no,
There was
I'm not
none
even-
of that in the anime
Yeah,
whatsoever.
not in
None of
English.
that. None of that is. No,
All
Did
right.
she not say a word?
not in there.
She
Yeah,
does
she
not.
did. She
No,
just kisses him. That's it.
no. The only voice
That-
you get
that's
out
the
of
only
her
thing.
is,
Yeah.
for all we know, for the animes only, he is a sexual assaulter. Okay, that's all we know.
Yeah.
He just sexually
that's
assaulted
all I
Okaroon.
know.
That's it.
Whatever. Read
That's
the
what-
fucking manga.
That's what
Yes,
all
read the
I know.
manga.
It's
Read
the
the manga.
fucking next chapter. Whatever.
Yeah, I know.
No, it's not even, dude. Because she
So
can't
it's
even
like-
speak. She can't even like say what
Yeah.
she wants to do. Remember?
No, I mean I definitely knew about it before I read the chapter I read last night.
So then to answer your question,
Well, it's because you
Roland,
said you
I
saw
don't know.
stuff and all that.
No, I only saw the stuff that Muffler Tape showed me and read with me, and
Which
and
is
I
the
watched.
entire arc.
No, but I
Yes,
definitely
that's like
saw
towards the
that
end of the arc.
beforehand.
Yeah, that's at the end of the arc. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm
Yeah.
talking about I said it to you last night when we were reading the end of the arc.
Yeah. So when you do a flashback, it's kind of like putting Kingta into the story Okay, and it's like, oh, he was there the whole time. It's like, oh, now we know the whole story, right? But
no,
that's
but I'm
entirely
not talking about that flashback. I'm not talking about that.
okay.
I'm talking about before that it was mentioned. She says it. She says it first before it's explained why she says it.
I'm going to opt with Roland just remembers this wrong.
Look it up. She literally says it before
You need
it's
to look it up because find the chapter where
I swear on
before-
God. Okay, I went through the whole arc
Yeah.
with you, and she does not mention that until the flashback.
I would trust Muffler Tape's memory more than Rolo's memory. And I have very specific reasons of this, in that there were times where, when discussing Bleach, Rolo couldn't even remember Bleach correctly.
But I
Holy
literally
shit.
just, how can I remember this and bring it up?
Because you fucked it up in your head after reading
I
last night.
literally talked about this a week ago.
I don't know. I doubt you fucking did.
Oh, I'm looking this up right now. First mention of it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, go ahead, continue, Roman. Though. So any other interesting interactions between characters you'd like to see? Jeez.
Is there any chance that that little gray cat that is interacting with Turbo Granny gets brought into the show?
Okay. So in my opinion, what I would say is that since those were additional chapters, those were the extra chapters. I would think that outside of it being in that outro, maybe if there's an interaction with Turbo Granny, you could get maybe a flashback associated with that and stuff, like directly in the plot. But otherwise, I think that they're just treating it as the outro sequence of season 1. That's what I would say.
Okay, cool. Because I kind of was thinking, I need Turbo Granny to find, someone for her to love. I don't want her to be lonely. Is there any character?
I think it's more so that she just kind of adopts all the kids in the group.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she does have that attitude of it.
She's grandma number 2,
right?
Yep.
Now
I remember there was one. I watched one person, this young black gentleman, who was reacting, I guess, to the first episode. And whenever he saw one of Momo's friends that was the hardcore Gyaru, he was like, "Is that a girl in blackface?" It's like, no, dude, that's Gyaru. Which means there are people who don't know anime or Japanese culture.
Color.
Is it?
Yeah,
Well,
there
no,
are
because
dark
remember
skinned
she had.
Japanese people. Yeah.
You ever met a
Well, no,
Okinawan? Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
I think it's because she had white lipstick on, and it did make her look kind of weird from afar.
She had eyeliner on too. She's putting makeup on to make herself look more like Japanese.
No,
I thought, she might have a tan.
Discussions around this anime have really heightened the attention people pay to that kind of shit.
Well, some of the episodes.
Yeah, let's not give a fuck about that right now, because that's all stupid. That's all been talked about. You're probably tired of all that shit, Crimson.
I am, but it still comes up to this day.
Yeah.
No, it comes up all the time. I'm looking up the final episode.
Censorship.
Right,
I think it's because of as Gundam, as it's a Gundam, has called them hoodweebs, as he has called them.
Okay, so random tangent. I fucking hate the term hoodweeb because it's basically just the racist version of tourist. You do not need to add all of the additional racial connotation to that.
Dude, it's kind of true.
If they drop an N-bomb on their X account, though, okay, they're probably...
It comes from a guy who referred to himself as a hoodweeb, and he was clearly a black kid on the internet. But I still don't like to use hoodweeb because I can just call someone a tourist and not have to use the, possibly racist connotation, because there's an assumption there, right? If you're calling someone a hoodweeb, there's an assumption there. It's unnecessary.
And what's funny is there's a lot of black people that love fucking Naruto, Dragon Ball. They love those animes,
fans.
But there are some newer ones that are coming in that probably never watched it. And like that one guy who was complaining about the Freerin figure and the what's it called?
that shit.
What's her name? From
Nezuko?
Demon Slayer, Nezuko. The very sexual Nezuko figure, and he was just outright calling people, if you have this, you need to be watched by the government and stuff like that. And with Frieren, it was ridiculous. He said he'll only give it up because she's 1,000 years old, but she still looks like a kid. Like, dude, this is anime, all right? Youthful looks, and quite literally, a lot of women are really short in Japan.
I actually have a
Like,
question
what? That is the
for-
thing.
So I actually have a question for you guys. So you guys would know this better than me. Am I still technically an anime tourist? Because I'm still very new to like
Not a
being.
tourist.
No,
You don't act like a tourist.
Here's the distinction. You're a normie, is what I would say.
Yeah.
There's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with being a normie. That's just someone who enjoys something at a surface level. They're not invested in it. Like I would not. I would be a legitimate weeb because I'm like full on invested in all of this stuff. Same with a lot of the other guys here.
Yep.
What's a tourist?
A tourist is someone who comes into a fandom because it is explicitly popular, and then tells the people
Demon
who have been
Slayer.
a fan of that fandom for a long time that they need to get out because they're the problem. Another way to say it is they're a colonizer. That's another one I've heard.
That's
And
true.
the
Yeah, but that
anime
has
man
like
got a lot of-
also a connotation to it too. You know,
Yeah.
Colonizer,
a
I
little
hear
bit,
all the time.
little bit.
I think I feel
kind of
like
slightly.
that one. I feel like that one's a little bit more acceptable because the behavior is very
Yeah.
similar. You're coming in.
Yeah.
So Roman, you haven't been out here advocating for a bunch of changes, and in fact, you've been like the exact opposite of like what we would consider a tourist. And this is actually brings up one thing that I did want to discuss tonight was the controversy around Don with the quote unquote pedo bait discussion that happens around it.
Good troll, Cammy.
Yeah, you yourself have said like, how do they call this pedo bait? And that in and of itself is like a tourist thing. Is people are so averse to fan service or things that make them uncomfortable that they then start calling it out. And this is one of the big things. Like I've had a problem with the way people have reacted to My Dress Up Darling. Like I went into like looking at reviews of My Dress Up Darling, and there were people who were legitimately talking about a 15-year-old like a fictional character like they had real world rights, saying like we need to stop it with all the fan service and stuff because she's 15. Okay, you want to play that way? The manga's over. She is an adult with a child. She is married.
Oh, base.
Yep.
I mean, the
You
way
gotta
that
bump
I
those
see it
numbers,
is,
those numbers up though.
so like the way that I see it is that I'm like you guys. I'm not that deep into anime, but from what I know is that it's considered weird in anime if you're like a simp over a lolly. But I think that
What?
for this
It's definitely a more niche taste, but you're kind of getting like into the deep end with that one.
Lolly could just mean a petite woman. Like
you
me
really
and
need to
Crimson.
define
Yo.
the term lolly before you start discussing
Yeah.
it. That is the big
Found it.
issue there.
Found it.
Like
By the way, they do mention it.
petite
before the
women are very, very beautiful.
What
Right,
chapter?
Crimson?
They do mention it before the flashback.
Yes.
We're sending you the link.
Tatsumaki is hot, and Roman agrees.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
For sure.
So I guess my question is that or not my question, but my statement on you talking about this being like pedo bait or people saying it is this. And Roland said this when we were watching it through Patreon, and I think that it holds true. The ones that are saying that it is pedo bait need to get checked because I don't think of it in a weird way when I see that kind of stuff because I'm just thinking, oh, it's just a show, or like I'm not thinking about it in like a sexual way. And so the ones that are saying that this show is pedo bait, I think are thinking of it in a sexual way.
Yeah,
I don't
that's your
think of it-
problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm not thinking of it in like that type
Okay.
of a way.
Well, here's the thing: is again,
I'll
people are
talk to you
treating.
about this. Anyway, Go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's. I don't think there's a problem with like the fan service element of it. Like that's been a thing in anime for a very long time. And in order to start trying to make like this argument that they quote unquote sexualized a minor, first of all, it's not a real person. You get into really hot water, and you rightfully should, when you're doing something like what Shadman did to Keemstar. I like to bring this example up because it is a clear example of where someone crossed a line. Where that dude drew Keemstar's daughter.
Yeah, it's fucked.
Mm-hmm.
That is a fucked up thing.
Yeah,
The
that,
issue
that was
is
fucked.
when it comes
That
to
was
like
that was
anime and
more than
stuff.
fucked.
First of all, they're not real characters, so you don't actually have a victim in any of this. And in order to try and get there, you have to make an argument that is akin to video games cause violence, which we have very clear studies that say it doesn't.
And guess what? We've got some very fine men and women out there that hunt these motherfuckers down. And
Yeah.
as soon as they see them, and they've said they are the dumbest people, they're so easily caught. Sometimes it's too late, but most of the time they get their asses before it's too late.
Mm-hmm. It's one of those things where like a lot of people have this reaction to it that like, and this is why we call them tourists. They get up in their feels about something that they're not comfortable with and start thinking that it should therefore be illegal or that it is 100% akin to a crime. And the irony is
and
a lot of them are Dragon Ball fans. And if you look up Akira Toriyama's original Dragon Ball within the first 10 chapters, Bulma's tits are out.
Yep.
and the
That's
thing
true. That's
the
true.
thing with that
Wears
one
a
guy
bunny outfit.
that one guy that was complaining about the Nezuko outfit, he quite literally verbatim says we need to get rid of this trope. The trope of a young character that looks very full bodied. Very big boobs, very big but
There's
a
a
very
lot of
attractive
Hispanic
character.
women that are short and have a very full-bodied figure. So, like, I don't
Yeah,
understand.
I have a sister that's like 5 foot. She's 5 foot, and she's
Shall
22.
I bring up the Tatsumaki cosplayer who got a bunch of shit for quote unquote pedo baiting like a
Dude,
year and a half ago?
Tatsumaki is a filter for some people. Where there's this one person that I watch. He says yes, he loves he loves One Punch Man, but he keeps on verbatim saying, I don't know why they don't sexualize more her sister, Fubuki, versus the character that looks like a child. I'm like, they do sexualize Fubuki a lot, actually. I don't know how I missed that. And it seems like he is just concentrated on Tatsumaki being very short. Also because she is short because of all the experiments that were done to her when she was a child. Because of her like high preference, high ability in telekinesis.
On a fundamental level, she is short because of the fact that it proves the fact that she's the younger sister when put next to her sister. Fundamentally, they do that in so many different anime. They're like, that's the younger person.
Tatsumaki is the older sister.
Yeah, she's the older
The
sister.
shorter one is the older
Well,
sister.
then that's and vice versa. They do the same thing, right?
It's kind of a joke that they do.
The
But-
Japanese, when it comes to anime and manga, this is actually a regular thing. They do play around with like build and age a lot. Again, I can bring up My Dress Up Darling. There are two sisters in there. One is the short, petite, older sister, and the other is the taller middle school sister who is a few years younger.
I mean, if this helps, I'm doing that in my book right now. Like, I have two characters that are sisters. One of which is, well, she's the older, and the younger is the better sister. I might switch that. I am debating that currently, but like, one of them is fucking like, both of them are very powerful, but one of them is like, oh shit, fuck, and she's the bad one. You know what I mean? And like, I'm creating this whole sisterly thing there. You have to do this dynamic between, like, when you're creating a familiar bond, like, you have to do certain dynamics that make it so that the reader doesn't even quite understand it yet until it's explained. Like, nobody.
I think the point in all of this is that, like, you have to have, like, people won't give you a clear standard as to why they like feel the way they do. That's why I said they get up in their feels. They have an emotional reaction to something that makes them uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's very true.
And I'm not even a fan of like the more hardcore like lolicon material. Like, I don't like Blue Archive. Okay, I don't even want to play that game. It doesn't interest me. Correct. But do I think it is?
I don't know
illegal?
what Blue Archive is.
It's like a lolly dating sim game kind of thing.
Ew.
Oh geez.
Yeah.
Well, I think the difference is like.
Well, here's let me finish this. Is when it comes to that kind of stuff, I don't think that like it should be illegal because you don't have any victims to it. Okay, and you can't prove that it will lead to anyone being victimized. The issue is if you even like once people like actually
yeah, he's not wrong.
It's already a crime to do it to real people. And because you have a victim, you can very easily say, yeah, this is bad.
Yeah, you're
But
exploiting
I mean,
someone.
if this is the standard we're going to apply, you're going to criminalize a lot of people really fast, and you're basically going to have to get rid of all of anime if that's the thing, including a lot of the people who everyone genuinely loves Murata, the artist for
Yeah.
One Punch Man. Any works by Toriyama.
I mean,
And
Fujimoto,
yeah, and
Fujimoto, Kubo, Tatsu.
Naruto
Kentaro
would get
Miura.
scrubbed too.
Yeah, Kentaro Miura.
Kentaro Miura.
Yeah, because
even
some
Bro-
stuff happens to
Oda.
Guts. Just saying.
Eiichiro Oda. Like,
Well, no, not even that. But his second manga that he did, what was it? Gigantomachia. Like the whole
Yeah,
premise of it is
Yeah.
he gets his powers from being pissed on by a lolly.
And with Shrike, the character Shrike, you do see her like naked.
Yeah, sheer.
Not yeah. There's a scene, but there's context to that scene.
Yeah,
It's not like he just drew her full blown just because. Like
a lot of people don't realize that like this isn't something that like is as big of a problem as you want to believe it is.
no,
It's one of those things where like you are allowed to disagree with it. You are allowed to not like it. I 100% understand because I'm kind of in that boat myself. There are certain things where you get to a point where I'm just like, all right, maybe we shouldn't do that.
Well, yeah, I mean, what is it?
But I don't
Yeah.
want to go around
Gushing
giving
over magical girls.
Redo of Healer.
Redo of Healers, I don't even think about it from that perspective. I just think of the violent acts. But yeah, that would technically.
But
A
you
lot
know
of
what I
it,
mean?
again-
It's not technically a fucking hentai, but it's fucked.
to tie this all back into Dandadan is a lot of people forget the context around this, and they forget that these are fictional characters, and they will treat fictional characters better than they treat real people. So because I enjoy Dandadan, if that somehow makes me a criminal, that's stupid.
Indeed.
Like I said, it is a
thought
video
crime.
games cause violence argument.
Yeah.
That just because someone plays Remember No Russian, they are therefore going to go and do the exact same thing out in the world. And a lot of people like to make this whole argument about like normalization and stuff like that. Why don't we see people who play lots of violent video games being incredibly violent?
Crimson,
In fact, we see the opposite of that.
correct. Crimson, can I just jump onto your point there? It's just because you mentioned No Russian. We just saw last week one of our state representatives, I believe, say that Halo was the cause. Halo and Destiny were the cause.
I sent that to you, I believe.
Yeah, I know. For somebody for Charlie Kirk's murder, because Halo, you kill elites, and therefore that makes you want to kill the elites and save the grunts. Which clearly this person knows nothing about Halo or video games at all. But my point being here is that, I mean, on a completely different point, just to jump onto what you were saying, nobody has a problem with what happens to the children in Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon
That's true.
or The Handmaid's Tale
Or Cuties.
or Last of Us or
Cuties is
Cuties.
even more vile because you have like all the auditions. Like the whole
people
story
had
of
a
the
problem with
auditions.
Cuties, but no one's
Yeah.
got a problem
Yeah.
when in season 3 of Game of Thrones, the Karstarks burst in and murder 2 Lannister kids and stab them to death. Nobody gives a fuck about that. Nobody cares when you see Sansa get raped by Ramsay Bolton. Nobody cares because that's part of the story. So you only care when it's an anime and it's animated. You don't give a shit when it's a real person.
He's spitting.
It's the childification of it. They think, oh, it's a cartoon, it's for kids. It's this very retarded Western mindset. So that's because they
It's clearly
associate that.
not meant for kids, though.
Yeah,
You don't
correct.
care
It's
when
not.
Joffrey, who is a
Not for
younger
little kids.
person, is doing this. You don't like. Nobody cares about the Game of Thrones of it. Nobody gives a shit in Black Sails when.
Oh, but
things
that's
happen.
M for mature, though. You have to. It's on HBO, right? So that's gated in some capacity.
Nobody cared when it happened in the Last of Us video game.
Yeah.
When Ellie almost gets raped and does get raped in the second one, no one gave a shit. They all said stunning and brave. So Yeah, I'm sick and tired of these people coming at anime, which is you got 10 times better writing than half the shit the West can come out with, and your only argument is that it's pedo bait. Fuck off. That's your only argument to why we shouldn't enjoy this shit. And it's not, because that says more about you than it does about us.
And
because we call that shit
I don't
out.
think Ellie got raped. We need Ellie or
okay, Abby. Then one of the retards in the.
well, there was that sex scene that Abby had with her like ex.
Okay,
I don't know
I didn't play
about
the second game. But
I don't know about The Last of Us because I've only ever seen a playthrough of the first. But to sort of like kind of come back around, there was a whole thing with like Vimola's suit being quote unquote fixed, and then there was the push of certain people who were like, "Well, if you can fix Vimola, you can fix this other character."
God, fuck
no,
off.
Again,
do not do that. There is a story reason.
You have completely ignored the context around that, all because you don't like the way it makes you feel. Maybe you should look inward or just stop watching the show if you have a problem with it.
Well, I hate that we have to come up with this, Crimson, but Dragon Maid. It's you and I have brought this up so many times. That was one of the major ones that you and I talked about was the Dragon Maid like being localized, yeah. And like that's just it was completely different sentences.
Well, I don't really think that has as much of a relevance to this conversation because we're more so talking about the way people react to.
I think it does because people defended it. I think a lot of people defended that it was wrong.
I still don't know how that ties into this conversation of people treating real world characters. Sorry, not real world characters, fictional characters like they're real world people, and like acting like they have real world rights, or that it somehow has any bearing on reality.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't pertain to that. It pertains to the fact of censorship, is what I'm talking about.
Right, and that's
and I mean
that's not even really censorship, though. That's just outright stupidity.
Yeah,
it was just like a complete changing of the context.
For the reasons that we're talking about right now, they changed that Dragon Maid for the reasons that we are speaking about. It
might come from a similar mindset, but I don't think they're the exact same. That's this is a hard thing.
Whenever that person changed that line, that person changing the line, they thought it was going to be funny.
Correct.
Funny. And no one did. No one found it funny.
The one thing I can extrapolate to, based on what you were saying, Crimson, just real quick, was that, it gets, since you're dealing with something that is purely fictional, right? It becomes, and I don't like slippery slopes because sometimes they're very, it's a fallacy for a reason in some instances. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes you do go in a direction and it doesn't stop. But the concept of a thought crime really becomes an issue here, where it's like, oh, it's just if it's something purely fictitious, and it's your own mind's interpretation of something, then at that point, it's somehow like, you can be criminalized for it and stuff. So it's a really big issue because you could start forcing behaviors on a lot of different things, and you can have like a chilling effect on a lot of different discussions too, which can relate to some other things we're dealing with in society. But anyway.
my point there, Muffler, just to jump on you just for a second.
Don't jump on me.
Sorry, I won't. My bad. But in order, like, what I was getting at was, it starts with something like changing the lines in Dragon Maid, and turns into something like Dandadan is pedo bait and it should be banned. And that's what I'm talking about when I said that's why I brought that up.
Yeah, they're both symptoms of the same rot, is the best way I could say on that. So
the same group.
Yep.
Because, dude, if we get to the point where anime is legitimately getting, like, certain animes are getting banned in America, then we're fucking cooked.
Like, I mean, it happened. It did happen one time where anime was sanitized, right?
Hold on, let me finish. We're not going to get any entertainment from Hollywood. We know that. We talk about that together all the time. So, anime right now, and honestly, a lot of the foreign stuff, other than like Taylor Sheridan, like, what are we getting? That's really enjoyable, guys. Like, we got Andor, thank God, but like, we're not going to get another Star Wars thing. We just saw the trailer. Looks terrible. So, like, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
And they're talking about banning anime.
That's why I started Go ahead.
No, I was
Yeah,
just
I'm
saying, like, just to finish up on what you said, like, that's why I brought up Dragon Maid, is because when people are sitting here saying, and you have so many people saying that Don is pedo bait, when it's clearly not, but nobody's actually watching it in order to prove that. It's this, I hate to say it, but it's the same way that people could sit there and go, Roman and I are Nazis because you see one of our takes on a clip.
I've never been. Well, I can say confidently, I've never been called a Nazi. Maybe you have, but not
All right,
not me.
whatever. But
You're not saying the right things,
No
then, Roman.
comment.
Come on, you gotta up your stats.
yeah, my point being is,
Earn that badge.
people aren't watching the clips. People aren't watching the actual episodes. They're watching the clips, and that's the problem. When you have enough people that are out there saying ban this show, it can't be watched. Like, that's huge. That's why I think that Netflix actually took the chance and like started picking up all of these anime, because they were like, if we have anime and we're running anime, there's nothing that the government's going to do about it. Generally speaking.
I mean, I'm just gonna say,
As long as they're not running anything heinous, I think they're good to go. That's why they're the biggest, like, I mean, there's so many anime on Netflix, and other than that, what else are you watching? Crunchyroll? What are they going to do? Ban Crunchyroll? I think people will easily boycott the fuck out of that.
No. Well, I mean, that was my thing. I was trying to say is that, like, that's why I started reading manga and I started reading light novels and trying to get closer to the source material and stuff. So that way there's less people involved to fuck it up, basically is the idea on that. Just to be on the safe side, you can never be too cautious because of the way things have gone recently with adaptations and localizations and stuff like that. So.
and wasn't there a period, if anybody remembers, that anime did get sanitized?
Yes.
And
For
because
Kids
of
era?
Yeah,
and because of the
early on,
yeah,
like you
Yeah.
could look at 4Kids One Piece and everything that they did to that.
4Kids Naruto making
Well,
like they basically
And-
like turn like the blood white. Yeah.
well,
Oh,
yeah.
That's
look
really
how that-
funny in China with Chainsaw
Yeah.
Man.
yeah.
In Bleach, they made it black and or white for like
Or just-
the war arc. It was all red throughout
Yeah.
the show, and then you get into the
And-
war arc. They censored it. Somebody that gets cut in half just loses an arm, which completely takes away. And it's still in the manga. It is still a silhouette, but instead of just cutting the person in half, they cut their like hand off.
Okay,
And it's
so
like, well, they're gonna survive that. Like,
Real
it's
effect
not-
of the manga.
and
I was about to say,
Yeah,
let's reel this back in, because the whole point of me bringing this up was to address specifically the Don controversies, to which there are a decent few. I mean, there was the whole thing
Yeah.
after the art war shit that happened with the first season, with like chibi reviews and all the stuff that happened there. And
Yeah, that was a-
that's where the term hood weeb came from.
Well, yeah, we went over all that together, I think. Right?
And
Yeah,
funnily
I-
enough, the people that were calling Chibi a pedo were the ones that released from their own
Yes.
files CP.
Yes.
It is
Yes.
hilarious.
Dude, it's crazy. It's like a anime gate type shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, in all of that, like the controversies around these kinds of anime, the ones that do have somewhat sexual natures to them, are unending, especially when they get incredibly popular.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of frustrating that a lot of people, or to me anyway, a lot of people are like so against allowing artists to have, their own freedom of expression. It just,
Yes.
yeah, you miss the point. You get up in your feels about something that you don't like, and then start freaking out when people call you out for it. And
Hell
that's
yeah,
how
Chris.
a lot of people start spreading misinformation to try and justify their points.
Yep.
And they make shitty arguments, and they make dangerous arguments that, if they are followed to their very end, you are doing some pretty shitty stuff to innocent people. And they're usually hypocritical too, and they come from people who have Berserk profile pictures or Dragon Ball profile pictures.
And they
I
don't
hate
know the
that,
full
like, Dragon
context of
Ball
the
fans-
story.
I
Well,
hate that.
I mean, Crimson and I have talked about this before. The fact that people have literally been assaulted, mangakas have been assaulted in Japan by foreigners sometimes.
Yep.
Like, they'll go there to assault them over this shit. Sorry, Roman.
Yeah, I was going to say Roman.
No, it's fine. I just want to say I hate that from what Crimson is saying, I hate that Dragon Ball fans are like the ones that are the tourists, but also it's not shocking because Dragon Ball fans are some of the most pretentious and douchiest people that you could ever meet. So it's actually really not that shocking to me. I am in the minority because I'm a cool Dragon Ball fan, but Dragon Ball fans are mostly assholes. So
No such thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Um,
honestly, I
Crimson?
think we can all agree that we've all seen, like, when it comes to anime shirts that you see out in public, it's always
the Ahegao shirts.
Yeah.
it's Dragon Ball with Vegeta and or Goku on it, and it's a Naruto shirt with either Naruto or Sasuke on it. That is the most. And nowadays, I'm seeing a lot of Deku shirts and Bakugo shirts,
And,
All Might shirts, but
and that could lead to a different problem.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say that leads to a different problem, but otherwise, I did actually see 2 Chainsaw Man shirts and 3 Dandadan shirts last week at work.
Nice.
That's awesome.
That's
And
pretty cool. I don't even own one of either
Anyway.
of those.
I don't either. I didn't know they made them.
I got one for Chainsaw Man.
Crimson.
But to Roman's
Muffler Tape's
saying-
got something he wants to say here.
No, I just wanted to check
Uh.
in. So, like, since Roman is anime only, and he probably is not aware of the Vamola controversy, would it be appropriate to try to like show him the changes that were made and like get his take on that?
Well, all you really
Yeah.
gotta do is bring up the
Yeah.
scene from the anime and then show the design that was in the
Yeah.
art gallery. of
Okay,
the
I was
manga.
just asking about
You
that.
can
I'll
see
find it then.
differences. You can see slight differences if you look.
because you showed it to me before I even read it.
Yep.
So I think
I'll
I
find
think it's good. It didn't. It's not a spoiler. It's just a difference in look.
Correct.
So yeah, you're.
And I
totally-
think what will be the appropriate response to that? Where there are people saying yes, that's great. I mean, I'm like that kind of sucks that they're doing that. But do
I'm
you think
with
we
you.
need to be a bit more vocal? Like, no, don't change it.
I think it's one of those really, really stupid controversy issues where, like, the big reason that it is front and center is because we've been through so much of this debate already that everyone looks at it and immediately has an allergic reaction to it. I don't think the change is a huge issue. Okay, here we go. Muffler Tape's got it.
It's so. Roman, can you realize what the change is? It's that it's not skin. She's wearing a full suit, but in the one on the left in the manga, it's skin. The one on the right, she's wearing a full suit that's just discolored.
I mean,
Still a very
I get
skin
it.
tight suit, but you can see.
I get it, but honestly, I don't really care that much.
But like,
I
why
really don't
change
care.
it is the point that people are getting.
I don't
at.
care.
It's I'm
I don't
with you,
care.
I'm with you, Roman. It's one of those things where like I'm not super concerned about it.
You're not.
In Vamola's case, it comes down. It's not really like a story point that really needs to be like held in there.
Yeah.
Like I think it's stupid to change it, but I think it's almost equally as stupid to complain about the change and make this.
I'm not going to lose any sleep over it.
Exactly. That's where
I'm not
I'm
going to lose any
exactly.
sleep over it.
I'm like,
If it comes to Rin later in the series, yeah,
will-
that
Yeah,
one will
I will
matter.
be
That's going to be a
That one will
problem.
fucking matter because there is an entire part of her story that is centered around that.
Correct.
Yeah, and
It's
that,
like
and that there are people trying to advocate for that change.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, I agree with you all is that I think that both designs are good. Okay, but again, the whole point is that if you're going to change it, then you have to explain to me why you want to change it and stuff, right? So that's things like anytime you make a change, you have to justify that rather than keeping the original author's intent. And so then you change the context around that meeting. And I think, and I brought up this point where I think that Science Saru has tried to up the tension in different ways because they made that change, right? So I think that they added that extra scene of destroying the house and to put emphasis on Momo's feelings in that situation rather than just showing like a confident alien space woman in that's
Right.
in a skin tight suit that's exposing some skin and stuff, sitting there and kissing the boy that she has
Well,
a crush
that's what I
on right
figured
now and
anyway,
stuff.
yeah.
So yeah. But the thing is though is that I think it's fine either way. I again have issues anytime they make a change, because at that point you're changing the intent of the art potentially, and that can have knock-on consequences. We brought up Rin. That's
Yes.
much more important compared to this one, but it's one of those things though.
Well, I mean, it's like
And
I said,
there's a legitimate reason like you could have for making this change. Like you could be opting for something a little bit more space suity, right?
Or like a plug suit, like people have pointed
Yes.
out, which is perfectly fine.
Maybe,
So that
yeah.
goes into the Neon Genesis Evangelion
Oh, no,
references, which
Muffler.
are great.
Yes.
So yeah.
which is totally fine. I have no problem with that.
But yeah.
And like what Muffler had shown us one time, where he said that if the suit was to show that skin, that it might be a reference to old timey like sci-fi,
Yeah,
where it showed like
100%.
the alien girls in like kind of skimpy looking outfits.
Yep.
To the much older movies.
Well, clearly that's what he was trying to do in the manga. That's
Yeah,
the
looks like
reason
it, yeah.
I think people are annoyed. And I'm not. Like I said, it is a controversy. I agree with Crimson. I don't think it really matters all that much. It's not as big as when you have a character get cut in half in Bleach, but then they censor it so that the person just gets their arm cut off. Like that changes the impact of that person getting attacked, right? Because you think that that person's going to die. Whereas opposed when somebody loses an arm in anything, because we've all seen Star Wars, we know they're probably fine.
I mean, yeah. Rolo, you remember the giant?
Live.
Rolo, you remember the giant that's protecting the gate in Bleach? His whole arm gets cut off. His whole arm gets cut off.
But in the anime, his hand gets sliced. His hand gets sliced.
Yeah, he gets cut. He gets badly cut. It's just that's it.
Yeah.
It really just take away from how serious that moment was.
And that's what I'm talking about. Like, it's that type of shit. So for this, like, no, it doesn't really bother me that much. But, like, am I like, why change it? Yeah. I'm like, why change it? Like, it's that's the thing, and I think enough people are just sick and tired of the just slight changes for no fucking reason that's why people are mad about this.
Yeah, it's an allergic reaction to it based on 10 years of this kind of stuff.
Exactly.
Yes.
And really the whole crux of Amola is she's gonna get changed into different outfits that just make her look adorable, because that's kind of her.
She's basically got a giant
thing that makes her
dinosaur onesie with superpowers.
She's cute as fuck. The point of her character is just to be cute as fuck. And like people are gonna be like, oh wow, that's fucking weird you're saying that. No. Like you can say that a character is cute without being fucking weird. So don't be that person. Because people do that, right? They'll be like, oh my god, they said she's cute, even though she's under. Who the fuck cares? She's an adorable character. You like her. She's endearing. And like that's the point of her. Right? She's the most endearing one out of the group. And that's why I like her so much already. And I've only read the arc that she's in.
Yeah.
But I'm like,
bro, hey, Rolo, whenever she starts talking, it's the fucking greatest thing ever. Holy crap.
Well, she's probably like one of the best characters, I would say, like for being endearing in the show.
Yeah.
Good call. Good call.
She really is like a mascot character in that regard.
She reminds me of like a Hinata.
Hinata?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But like a little bit more out there. You know, like
maybe
she's the sweetest one. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like everybody else is a little bit more.
He is a sweet character.
Everybody else has a little bit of gruff to him. She doesn't have that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say you're a cutie or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
All right.
Wait. I win.
So, does anyone have any other topics that they want to get to? We've kind of hit everything that I wanted to hit on. Does anyone have any other talking points? Because we're getting close to 3 hours here, and we can probably wrap it up unless there are other things people want to discuss.
There's one more song I want to discuss, and it's the song that plays every single time they have like a love thing going on.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's a good
one
track.
that sounds very similar to the new one coming out for Chainsaw Man. That's like like that one, like You know what I'm talking about? The new the
Yeah,
they
that's
play it-
Iris Out. It's I would say it's closer to the outro of what's expected in the Reze movie, to be honest with you. But
No, but like they play this song all the time in Dandadan.
yeah, it's a great track, man. Kensuke Ushio does the tracks for
Huge.
both. So
Is
yeah, he does a
that-
great
Can
job.
I find that? Does that exist on like SoundCloud? Or it must on SoundCloud.
I will help
Probably.
you after this stream, sir. Okay.
Yeah, I need to find this, bro.
That's today.
Oh.
I know that Down the Down soundtrack is on Spotify, at least for the first
Yeah.
season.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I knew I had to at least get that one, but
Yeah, you're chill.
Anyway, if
Ending
that
2
is
is better. All right, fight me, and then that's the last thing I had to say.
if that is everything we've got, we're going to start to wind down now. So, on my end, thank you to everyone who has gotten me to 1,000 subs. I genuinely appreciate that. It
You're
is
welcome.
it's a big thing for me. And I also appreciate everyone who showed up here and was chilling out in chat. Marcel, Arceus, Biggles, I know Gray Pilgrim was in here, Cammy was around. And of course the guys who are here on the panel: Muffler Tape, Rolando, Roland.
hold on
and
one
Roman.
second
Yeah.
to say something.
Huh?
Then say it,
What happened?
motherfucker.
Heh.
Okay, and Roland knew with the 1999. I had to.
Aw,
Happy birthday,
you want
buddy.
you want
I
your own
appreciate
shout
it.
out? That's cute.
I don't
bro.
want my own shout out. I
Aw.
just want to say happy birthday. I had to.
Woohoo.
Okay, I appreciate it. Anyway, I will be probably continuing to work on a bunch of videos for the rest of the week. I didn't post anything today, but I did get a bunch of scripts done for the next couple of short videos I'm going to do, and I have been working on the My Dress Up Darling video, as well as some other things in the background that I'm hoping to get around to, but things have been kind of sluggish. So my brother
All right,
just
man.
messaged me asking me what the series I was suggesting to him. Anyway, with that said, is there anyone who? Obviously we have RG Energy over here with his channels, and I will bring those up really quick. We have the Rolo Rome cast. Let's see if I can copy that.
I also
Yeah.
wanted to just put this out there that I am currently working. The script is like 99% done for my Dark Knight Rises video that should be out within like a week or two.
Oh, yeah.
No thanks to you, Warner Bros. I got cut 9 times until Crimson told me a way to get around that. So thankfully, I was able to get my Dark Knight video out. But anyway, also, we are back to our normal day of streaming on Friday.
Yes. Friday night
And-
we'll be live. So
and-
we have our new
and-
member.
And we're currently watching through Red versus Blue over on Patreon. So that is in the link in my bio. And we gotta start. I guess we gotta start Chainsaw for next month. I guess maybe.
Yeah, we're gonna
So
do Chainsaw
next
Man,
month's
and then-
Fictionology
So
will be
I already,
Chainsaw Man.
yes, I already bought the
Which
tickets.
you need to stick
so-
around because we need to talk. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Roland's
we're
so
gonna talk.
we
fucking
need to talk
vague
about
every
dates and
time,
stuff and how
so-
this is going to
But
work.
Roman, I already bought the tickets, so we're going.
Either way, continuing to wrap this up again. Thank you to everyone who makes me doing this worth my time. I enjoy being able to be creative with it and put all this stuff together, but the fact that people actually enjoy what I do makes it that much more worth it for me to do.
Thank you, Crimson.
I'm going to
for having
continue
us on.
doing the anime stuff. I'm going to continue having fun with all of this, and I hope you will follow me along for the ride. And if this somehow pops off, then it pops off. But that said, thank you. And I don't think there's anything else I need to show for, just, RG Energy and the Rolo Rome cast, which I'm over on the Rolo Rome cast on occasion if you guys really want to check
Absolutely, come check him out. He's a great mod. Muffler Tape's on there sometimes, and so is Rolando. We have a lot of people on. It's really fun.
And also, I'm sometimes on the Roller Rumcast too. So
Yeah, you're
we
the-
will
On
see.
occasion.
it out. On occasion, it's not like it's your channel or anything. Anyway, thank you so much for allowing me to do this. Not like I would need your permission to do this anyway, but the fact that you watch is enough. That said, Here is random Chinese cat girl for the